Hey guys.
Hey, SkullGirls again. No, I know what's up.
Yeah, so this is originally we had about an hour and a half in the last Tournament Snark we did that we cut out. That was literally just us looking at the art because we felt like that was kind of important. But we also rambled for an hour and a half looking at other people's art.
And we didn't have all of the art.
No, and we didn't have all of the art. So we've actually gone out of our way to grab a bunch more of the art.
Yeah, you just got to do story mode for everyone and arcade mode for everyone. Yeah. It wasn't too hard.
So this is the art gallery for SkullGirls. It
opens
defaults
on
to
guest
guest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to bring up, I want to say, let's start with the posters. Because that's a thing that we can get to. I think I went backwards to get to them, so I'm going through every single character until we get to posters. There we go. So every character has a poster in this game. And some of these posters are really, really good. Most of them are based on movies. Some of them are based on other things, like books and operas in some case and stuff like that.
You think that they made like actual printed posters of these?
I don't think so, but I wish they did. Yeah, like I hope that they did because these are really, really good. The art on this is really nice.
Most of them are great.
Don't pay attention to the right-hand side because that's literally just the controls for moving the art around and doing things like zooming in and backing out. So like I can zoom in and out on the art. On the left-hand side, however, and you should really pay attention to this down at the bottom.
If it's visible on the YouTube.
No, it's totally visible.
Okay.
I don't know why I wouldn't.
I don't know. It's really small on our screen.
No, it's fine. It has the title of what you're looking at. So in this case, it's Philia poster. And then the artists who worked on it. One of the names that you're going to see a lot is Alex Ahad. That is, as far as I know, a really chill dude. He's the lead designer for SkullGirls, and he's their lead artist. He has a Tumblr. He's a really cool guy. I have seen it before. He seems super approachable for some weird reason.
Have you approached him?
No, I've not approached him.
Okay, are you...
I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
You want to watch our Let's Play where my girlfriend says that you draw thighs like hams?
No, I'm just saying he seems like a really nice guy. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
He has a Tumblr and you can go out and find him, and he's a super cool artist. He doesn't just do SkullGirls, obviously. He does other art. And yes, the Philia poster's pretty good. It's once upon a time, a girl awoke and her hair started talking to her. Amnesia can be a bite in Philia and the demon in her hair.
And in the circle flourish of the
F,
there's the
that's her
symbol.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a movie poster. Like it's pretty good though. And then we got the one for Sarabella, which is designed to look like an old school circus poster. And I think I mentioned it when we originally started doing this in the hour and a half that we cut out. But I used to hang out at a place that had circus posters and opera posters and stuff like that. As a kid, I used to hang out in a place that would put up posters for circuses, operas, and just general spectacle sort of entertainment.
Okay.
And it was all old-timey, like turn of the century style.
You used to hang out in a museum.
No, it wasn't a museum. And at the time that they used to be put up, some of them used to be current. So that is a thing. Mind you, they're designed to kind of look that way. I'm not from the 1920s, I swear to God.
Sometimes I wonder.
I have a living relative. Well, I had a relative who was living up until recently who was from the 1920s. Yeah, rest in peace. He was a very good friend of mine. Cirque de Cortez, an amazing one-time show. Soaring dynamite of star power. Sarabella, the diamond in the rough, because she's diamonds.
Yeah.
I think we didn't point that out when it originally came up, but in the story stuff, there's actually a bunch of characters in her circus, and we'll see them in a little bit, but there's a bunch of characters who are clearly themed around like suits of cards.
Yeah. The Peacock one is pretty much good.
Oh yeah,
like,
this is amazing.
This is great.
This is great.
this is certified good.
Yeah, this is some like Peg Leg Pete garbage going on here, and it's amazing and I love it.
Yeah, didn't you tell me that the pose is supposed to explicitly look like the Steamboat Willie? Mickey
Yeah, I'm almost
the
positive this is Steamboat
steering
Willie.
Wheel.
Yeah, I like the pose is almost fucking identical for the Steamboat Willie Mickey with the steering wheel pose, which I think is now the logo for Disney.
Yeah, but
use it at the
before
end of a
their
bunch of their movies.
before their movies and stuff, they'll have them just whistling the little bit, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
it
it's
zooms
like,
out and says Disney under it. Yeah.
Yeah. A Murder Maladies cartoon, by the way.
Yeah.
And presented in a visor scope.
It's because she fights people.
Not gonna touch too hard on some of Parasol's stuff because a lot of it comes up, but I don't know. Whoa, whoops! Sorry, that was
so bad.
That's my bad.
Spoilers! Don't look at that one.
I tried. I was trying to zoom in. A lot of her stuff is weird propaganda, and her team is Nazis.
So it makes sense. First of all, this game came out a while ago. That shit wasn't suddenly cool on the internet to scream about.
That stuff
again.
has never been cool on the internet
to scream about.
Yeah.
From one side or the other.
I'm just saying
it was not a hot topic at the time. Also,
Nazis were never hot topic.
No, there might have been.
I hope not.
I don't know. I haven't been to the mall in a while.
Yeah.
Anyways, one of the things that the actual Nazi Party did historically was actively try to use graphic design that would be powerful because it helped with their regime thing.
So did everybody.
Yeah, but they put a lot of effort into it, so it makes sense that aesthetic is really popular to choose for characters in media. Yeah, if you want them to look a little bit scary or authoritarian, that's a great aesthetic to go right into.
You want to see some really cool stuff? Go out and look up the propaganda for communist Russia and China when they were considered allies in like communist brothers in arms kind of stuff during the
Cold War.
Cold War. Thank you. A lot of their stuff is like supposed to be really powerful, like we are brothers and we're friends and we're looking forward to the future. And somebody pointed out to a lot of people, and then they started pulling in all of them and looking at them. They all vaguely look like gay couples on honeymoons, because they're all these really chiseled, beautiful men hugging each other and looking off on the horizon, and it's like, that really does look, it looks like
Russia
a wedding
and China
photo.
OTP?
It looks like a real ass wedding photo. Like, I'm not even being an ass about this. Like, it really does. It looks gorgeous, but it's like, oh my god.
Well, we'll look that up later on our own time, and so will you.
She needs our help. Join the Black Egrets, protect the Canopy Kingdom. And Canopy Kingdom, by the way, I don't know if we ever pointed it out, it's clearly
where
this
takes place.
Well, yes, but that's the kingdom that Parasol is in charge of as well. And also, she's Umbrella themed, and her family's Umbrella themed, and they're part of the Canopy Kingdom.
To the point that her sister's literally named Umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I like it.
So this is just nice.
Yeah. So, wanted, assault with a deadly weapon, misfortune, undead or alive. And this is where we get to see the Fishbone Gang for, like, I think this is the only time we get to see them ever. Yeah, this is her dead gang. And it's like, hey, guess what? Most of the Fishbone Gang are the Innsmouth people. They're the deep ones. So it's just a bunch of fish people, and then ms.fortune, who's a cat now.
I like that pufferfish. The guy who's got just the stubble on his beard is just
it's a pretty good pufferfish.
I like that.
The eel, I think, is a really good design because I don't think that we see enough of those in the backgrounds of any stages or even in the foregrounds of
Yeah, it's just weird and wiggly.
Somebody had a lot of fun with the designs for the fish people.
Yeah. And you can't play as any of them in this game.
No. Reward 240,000, whatever that is. Double dollars, I guess.
Bone dollars.
Yeah, bones, maybe. It might actually be bones, because that's colloquialism for money. Who knows?
Yeah.
When I keep seeing this, I keep thinking that it looks like berries or bellies, which is the One Piece currency, because it's a big
that might be
B.
intentional.
I don't know. The Pain of Pain Wheel. I'm almost positive that this is a mock-up of like a... Sorry, not a mock-up. A mock of a particular horror movie, and I can't remember what.
Oh, is it supposed to be Pain Wheel up in the top corner in the red wiggle where she's
up
like
in the
normal?
Left, yeah.
Oh, zoom in on that.
Frightful and top-secret terror of the anti-SkullGirl labs.
Yeah, look how happy she is before it all goes down.
The monster bred from Suburbia and Valley Girls. The Pain of Pain Wheel. It could happen to your friend! Not you, but your friend!
Yeah, because Painwheel, even in her own story, isn't really the star of her story. She is just struggling against Valentine. So like her story is partly just Valentine's story, and then part of it is just a weird sort of redemption issue for Philia, who doesn't even know what's going on.
And we get
so
the who is Brain
weird.
Drain, and she was a plain girl, and this is like a really weird picture of Brain Drain. Because like it's there and it's clearly supposed to be stylized, but they've cross-hatched like the shit out of it to the point where like you can't quite tell who that is.
Which is fine because he's not playable, so they put more focus on the characters who are.
Even in Painwheel's storyline, Brain Drain wasn't explicitly like 100% you can see this character and you get a feel for him and all this other stuff. Like he was kind of mysterious, and assuming that the poster was created alongside maybe the release of the game where Painwheel was one of the original characters that came out, it would make sense that Brain Drain would still be considered super duper mysterious at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. And then you have Valentine there, obviously.
Maybe they wanted Brain Drain to sound mysterious so that people would want him in for the DLC. And then he didn't.
Yeah, and then he didn't make it.
Because that was voting based, right?
Yeah.
Like the Kickstarter backers
it was Kickstarter voting, yeah.
And they didn't want him. They wanted Robo Fortune.
Yeah. An all new and frightfully shocking Disreality in color. Yeah. Then we get this.
This is probably an album cover.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think in the original version of this, we debated on whether or not this was an album or a book. And I think you're right. I think this is an album.
It's squarish, which is usually an indicator of a CD cover.
Yeah.
It's not quite right, but it's close.
The Bloody Valentine is awfully close to like 1,000 different albums that are things like My Bloody Valentine and everything else that is aped off of titles like that.
Isn't there a My Chemical Romance with a skull?
Might be.
I could be thinking of some other thing.
That might be what it is. I have no idea.
Like, they're all really similar in tone. All of them Hot Topics.
My horrible secret is that I recognize very few album covers.
Yeah, I always know what Hybrid Theory looks like, and that's about
King
it.
Crimson is real good. People only remember that one because it's got that big screaming face on the front.
Also, A Night at the Opera by Queen, because it's just like some thing that Freddie Mercury doodled in the corner of his textbook and then
Appetite
made
for
better
Destruction,
later.
because it was supposed to be a picture of a robot fucking a lady.
Rad.
And then they decided to make that the inside cover because people didn't want it on the outside.
So they did the thing with the skulls.
Yeah, so the
they should have
outside is
done
the
one
thing
of
with the
those.
skulls on a cross.
They should have done one of those for the SkullGirls because it makes sense. Just a bunch of them in the cross with like their hair, and it works.
Yeah, but this is Valentine's
yeah.
good. Like it's good. I like that the idea of doing like the skull and then putting a bunch of descriptors in the eyes. That's really nice.
Yeah.
It's good.
Graphic design.
Graphic design. Thank you. I'm forgetting words all night.
Yeah. This one's the weak link.
Yeah, this one's a little weaker than the other. Like most of the others anyway. The double was there, always there, driving women to perform acts, brutal acts against women that wanted the heart, the skull heart. The shrilling twist is it might be you, and by then it's already too late. The devilish double, she knows what you look like. What's that say down at the bottom?
The Abyss.
Oh yeah, the Abyss.
Is that a place or an organization or something?
It's probably a place. But yeah, Serve the Heart. And the art on this one is...
this just
feels
more or
like
less...
it's just a keyframe from the actual animation in the game. Which isn't bad, but it's like, oh...
It's double. You could do so much with it.
Yeah.
It may have been based off some particular movie poster. I don't know.
I don't know either. It seems like it might be based on a movie poster. This is an opera poster.
Yeah, it's very fancy. It's got a little bit of an Art Nouveau thing going on.
Yes, it does.
A little bit of a Muka thing. It's got the circles and the filigree and the lady on it. It's very Alphonse Muka.
Also, Medici Sound.
Okay.
Presents the singing sensation Sienna Contiello as Squiggly. So that's Squiggly's full name, by the way.
By the way, why do they call her Squiggly?
I don't know.
They never give a reason for that nickname.
It's a very good question. Also, jazz solo performed by Ben Birdland, who is the actual name for Big Band.
Oh, okay.
That's Big Band's real name.
Were they introduced in the same DLC pack? That would make sense.
So, I don't remember. Sienna Contiello comeback performance, Delamore Delamorte. an opera in 3 parts by the Medici Foundation for the Arts, presented live on stage at St. Grenadines. It's not over till the dead lady sings, and her tones are so dulcet you'll wonder if her lips move at all.
She can drink from a glass of water while Leviathan talks.
Yeah. Oh, God. And remember, the Medicis killed her, so, like...
No, was it the...
Was it not the Medicis? I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't remember them being the ones behind it.
I
mean, I'm pretty
Lorenzo
sure.
who did
I'm
it.
pretty sure Double was involved in the.
Well, yeah.
It.
Double incited it by giving the skull heart to Squiggly's mom.
Okay.
And then I think that the whole thing was, it turned out like, well, because Black Dahlia breaks in after that and guns everything down.
Yeah, and she works for the Medici.
Yeah,
okay.
and she works for specifically for Lorenzo's son, I think, who is, the current acting head of the Medicis. And then from the author of The Melody of Demise, The Shock Start New Meridian Mystery, A Murderous Affair of Music.
Yeah, this is like
Ben
a pulp novel.
Birdland Big Band. Yeah, and he looks so Batman in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got your little peacock, and you got your big band, and then just dead people. And this is a really good book. This looks like it would be an amazing book.
Well, actually, if they made a SkullGirls book, it would be really hard to explain anything.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
It would have to be, like, more than one book, first of all. And even then, like, it's just so weird.
Just blood splatter in the corner. I want to see if there was anything there, but there really wasn't.
Nah. It's just such a weird, intricate concept that you would need quite a bit of, just the setting alone needs a book.
Yeah, so New Meridian Mysteries, by the way, but that's one of the other uses of Big Band's full name. So Ben Birdland Big Band is the thing.
He's not a bird, though.
No, it's really weird that he is, Avian is the doctor who tends to him, and a lot of people coming out of that lab have something to do with birds. Okay. So I guess it's kind of weird that Big Band has nothing to do with birds coming out of the Avian lab, whereas you've got, like, Peacock and everybody else. Mm-hmm. But then I guess that's just how they kind of retrofitted him for that, is making his real name Ben Birdland.
Sure.
I don't know. Eliza!
Best girl.
She's the only one not in denial. The Medici Foundation for the Arts proudly presents Eliza. Again, Medicis are doing things, I guess. Yeah. With faithful servants Horace and Albus as the brains and the brawn. Critics rave. The songstress will have you seeing red in this one-time charity performance for the Crimson Ankh.
Which is probably just her, so it's a charity for herself.
Yeah. And there's just a horrible picture of Double lifting those two up. Well, Eliza kills Sarabella, I guess, on stage.
I guess.
I really like that they have fun with a lot of the side shots of Eliza where the bones are coming out because she can tear the face up. It's really nice.
Yeah, like they do a lot with a lot of these for this game is basically body horror waifus. They take that in some good. Well, a lot of these characters
Painwheel and Eliza are the only ones I can really think of off the top of my head.
I don't know. Having
Double,
a parasite on your brain is kind of body horror.
She could take it off though.
Philia?
Sarabella, I meant.
Wait, is that thing a parasite?
I think that's a parasite. Her hat?
Oh, but she can take it off though.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't thinking. I was
thinking
thinking
you
of
could
Philia.
just take them off sometimes.
Philia's thing is body horror.
I mean, technically, Squiggly's got a parasite in her brain too.
Zombies are inherently body horror. Peacock's like mostly dead.
Peacock's mostly dead. That is true.
Yeah, no, like, but they take the aesthetic and they work it really well.
Yeah. Anywho, I really like this poster. This one's nice. Yeah. I keep seeing this font though, and keep thinking of.
Oh, you just hate papyrus.
Yeah, I know
or
it's
whatever
papyrus
this
or
is.
whatever it is, but it keeps making me think of the Prince of Egypt, and then also the Emperor's New Groove, and I don't even remember if the Emperor's New Groove used that font.
It's the font for like ancient cultures. I get it.
Anyway, wrestling poster. Come back at the century, the world-famous Decule Debut.
Should we know what that means?
I don't remember. You Hook 'em, We Cook 'em presents The Indignation in Innsmouth. The NMO champion returns from retirement. The hype Beowulf champion versus the heavy Andy Anvil challenger. Andy is one of Peacock's, I'm not going to call them familiars because that's not quite what they are. One of her friends, the
Her
bombs that she
creatures?
pulls out and everything else. He was also, I believe, one of the characters who was almost DLC.
That would have been a weird one.
Yeah, he's a little bit confusing, and it would also mean that Peacock could potentially use him against himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then we got a little nod to what's-his-face over here, managed by
Double.
Dynamite Zane McDougal. We don't know if that's always been double. There might actually be a real
I don't
Zane.
know, but it could also just have always been double.
Friday, April 17th. Save your NMO ticket stubs for a free meal from the new Yuan and Shumi's Fish Brothers Walk. Doors open at 5 p.m. sharp. There's a lot of weird little things in here.
Little logos and
The
stuff.
hammer versus the anvil. Pure metal takes on pure metal. Wolfpack members bring your own herding, get free seats. Inquire with bring your own chair and get free seats.
Is that the name of his chair?
Yeah, that's the name of the chair is herding. Concessions provided by Eye Candy, Park Deco Whiskey. Ringside and stage limited seating, Medici Gardens at the River King Casino.
Limited seating, so bring your own.
Yeah, limited seating, so bring your own chair. Okay, Fukua's is literally just Philia's, except for this little line up here. Once upon a time, a joke character awoke, and she was seriously inserted into the game.
Dun dun dun.
Clones can be a bite in Fukua and the Tale of Two Ghosts.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just literally the same. Mutropolis. Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen the original non-anime Metropolis.
I
but
have. It's good, but
I recognize the poster.
I don't know. It takes a lot of doing to kind of get into it for modern audiences, I want to say. Because a lot of people... When I worked at the theater, we did have a few days out of the year where we would show older movies. Mm-hmm. And Metropolis was one of the ones that once in a great while would find its way into rotation. And people would come out of that movie going, I don't know what that was. Can I have my money back? And it's like, oh...
And then
That
Osamu
makes me so
Tezuka saw the
sad.
poster and made a different thing about a robot girl.
Yeah, can we talk about that real quick? The
It's just
Metropolis anime
unrelated.
was literally Tezuka making an anime based on the poster from Metropolis.
Yeah, he just made up his own thing based off of the fact that he saw a poster.
But yeah, Robo Fortune,
That
Ein
one's good,
Roboter
though.
von Brain Drain.
I haven't read that manga, but I've seen the movie. And it's apparently very different from the manga, but I liked it. Because I don't have anything to compare it to.
No, it is. A story from the days of future cats.
I get it.
The ultimate killing machine, part Mew, part metal. And I'm pretty sure that's actually just the art from the end of the story mode for
Yeah, I think
Robo
so.
Fortune. Okay, this is a book. I'm almost positive because it's got a spine on it. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, it still might be an album, but I'm pretty sure it's a book.
There's some style stuff going here that reminds me of a Linkin Park album, but it's not because it's the positioning and stuff is clearly very different.
Yeah, Dear Marie is the SkullGirl. This is the end of the road, sweet friends, goodbye. It's really nice.
Bye.
I mean, it's a really wonderful picture of Marie.
Yeah, this is a cool style.
Very nice graphic design.
Very
going on and
nice.
everything. And I like that they have this weird faux, weathering that they keep putting on some of this stuff because it looks really nice, actually.
Yeah, like obviously you source that from an actual photo of an old book or whatever, and you kind of gotta Photoshop it in, but it's well used here.
You'd think so, but actually, if you took this whole design and you printed it out on something like this, there are ways to do faux weathering really, really well. This could totally have been just a scan of a thing that they decided to weather. It's a lot of work, and I hate doing it. I had to do it once as a kid, and it is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I hate it. But it is possible, and some people make it look really, really good. That's the last of the posters, by the way.
Yeah, so you've seen every character.
Every character. And now we're going to actually look at some of these lineup shots, because some of these are interesting, some of them are kind of just, there's Philia.
Yeah, there's her hams.
There's Cerebella.
Her hams. She's got a bunch of them.
There's Peacock.
She's normal looking.
There's Parasol, and then Fortune, and Painwheel, and Valentine. And a lot of these are really good, and we could talk about these characters if we want to. But
we're going to keep looking at them a lot. We're going to have concept art.
Double, I think we perpetually point out it looks good in almost everything.
Almost everything except her movie poster, which is kind of bland.
It's just weirdly bland for some strange reason. Squiggly and Big Band, whose art makes him look whose art makes him look super cool, because I don't know if this pose ever actually happens.
I think this might be a mid-walk.
Yeah. It's definitely not his idol.
Sketchy.
This is a very sketch picture for some strange reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Her boobs look different than they normally do.
Yeah, a little bit. This might even be an earlier Eliza than the one that we actually get. I don't know.
This may have been from an earlier stage.
Yeah, because her feet are a little weird too. And then you got Beowulf, and it's like, yeah, that's Beowulf. Robo Fortune, Fuku, Marie, and then we get into some of the weirder pictures in here.
This is like a mid-transformation double.
So yeah,
of some
here's
sort.
mid-transformation double. There are a lot of characters at play here.
Yeah.
There's,
Who has a crown normally?
I don't know. I can't think of who has a crown normally. Maybe double, and we just never notice.
Is that a little Leviathan over
Yeah, there's
there?
a little Leviathan on the left. Cerebella's in the center, but she's kind of being warped.
I can kind of
out of
see Misfortune.
Ophelia is in the
Both.
background. That's literally just a shadow version of her standing there. And it's a skull on the ground, which is nice. And then we got early Beowulf.
He was kind of skinny.
Yeah, I think we mentioned this in the one that got cut, but like he's super thin. Like the early version of him. Sorry. The early version of Beowulf is like incredibly thin compared to the normal one.
Yeah, especially his legs.
Because it's like they went for WrestleMan, but then we're like, what kind of WrestleMan? And they're like, make him super lightweight. And then he's got these really thin little spindle legs.
Yeah, no, they beefed him up later.
Yeah, in the final version of Beowulf, he actually has like legs that are way beefier. Everything's way beefier, but his pants are also longer.
It works better.
It does. I agree, but it's like, I don't know.
This guy looks like you could beat him in a fight.
Yeah, potentially.
Like you specifically.
The teacher.
Millions of legs.
I forget this character's name. There it is, Miss Victoria. And I think we kind of mentioned it. We'll probably see more of this in the actual concept art stuff, but she and Beowulf share a lot of similarities, like in the way that their faces kind of work and the way that their hair kind of works. And it's like really not 100% obvious when you see it like this, but it's way more obvious when you see it in other pictures, and it's kind of weird.
Also, she's nothing but legs.
I think we decided that she's like actually possibly Beowulf's mom, but I don't know. Yeah,
no,
and
that's just us making things up.
Yeah, I know. We're just fucking around. But she is, she's legs for days.
Like, just I kind of want to just go in with a lasso tool and lower her hips a little.
No, she's just, 8-9 heads tall. That's a thing.
She's got no torso.
Some people are just very tall and
but
have
no torso.
There are some people who are just like 80%
like
leg.
this.
Maybe this is a little over the top.
This is a bit much.
Yeah, it is. Here's this guy.
Who cares?
Adam's lineup shot. Look at this man with his fucking pineapples and his armbands and his little pinstripe pants. He's the blandest motherfucker alive.
Get him out of here.
Face. Oh god. Okay,
Who the
Aeon.
fuck are you?
This is Aeon. She's from the ending for Double.
Okay.
She's got the thing in her body. Literal hourglass.
Yeah.
She is one of the 3 characters at the end of Double's thing who exist in that weird time space where everything is fallen in on itself.
That's never going to be fully explained,
no,
right?
And I think she was one of the characters who was almost a DLC character, and that would have explained it, and they didn't vote her in. So
oh well.
There's Andy.
Hi.
That's Andy, all right. He was in his sneakers and his underwear and his boxing gloves. Yeah. He's just got them big old socks and his weird look. I like him. He's super cartoony, but he's a really good design, actually.
Yeah, he's fine. He's an inanimate object with arms and legs, and they ran with that design idea.
Annie, who shows up in Beowulf's stuff and was almost a DLC character as well. I don't know if you can tell, but after these 3, we are in the lineup shots for potential DLC characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Annie was a really good concept for an idea where it's like, oh, it's Annie's Star Warrior or whatever, and she does a TV show about herself. question mark, where it's implied at the end of Beowulf's that like potentially the show was maybe a cover and she actually just did all of that normally and she's some kind of weird
doesn't seem like a good
girl almost.
cover, but okay.
No, and she's got like an eye patch and a rabbit with an eyeball inside it.
Okay.
I don't know what that rabbit is.
I mean, it has her eye.
Beatrix! This is the club to Cerebella's diamond.
Why is she all stabbed?
She is a knife-throwing character from the circus.
Does she have, like, robot arms or something?
I don't know. She might literally just be stabbed.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about these characters, so I can tell you what I know about them, but other than the fact that she's from the circus and she's clearly like their knife-throwing person, I don't really know much else. She got clubs, she got knives, she got a little top knot for some weird reason.
It kind of makes her head look like a club.
A little bit, yeah, and she got them Rouge the Bat boots, I guess. I don't know.
Kinda?
Where it's just one solid piece for these boots down here, and they work all the way up to the top of the leg for some weird reason. And she got them puff pants. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Black Dahlia.
Yeah.
with this scratched out face. I really like her gun arm. It's a really intricate, cool looking gun.
Is that like a grenade launcher or some shit?
It is supposed to... It looks like a grenade launcher, but it also looks like, because of the way that the barrel is designed, I would have to assume that it could also be like some kind of bolter-style weapon, which is to say it's just a very large revolver. But it looks like it would shoot grenades, yeah.
And then at least one of her legs is robotic.
Yep, she's got robot parts. I don't know why, but it's kind of cool.
This
Brain
guy.
drain. He just flies around, by the way.
Why?
Robot parts? I don't know.
They make him fly?
I guess. There's only one human part of him that I'm aware of.
Yeah, but why bother replacing... Why give yourself robot legs if you're gonna float?
Because it looks cool.
At that point, just leave the legs off.
D. Violet. I know almost nothing at all about this character. Other than she shows up at the end of Beowulf's
Is that just straight up a dominatrix?
Yeah, she's just straight up a dominatrix. I mean, she's also like a demon, so I don't know, but yeah. She is also a dominatrix.
So she's a succubus, I guess.
I guess. She got a lot of arrows going on, and probably would have, I'm going to assume, fought similarly to Squiggly. Because she's got like the whip stuff going on, so
So maybe that's why she didn't get in. Squiggly's a little more
Well,
plotty
they may have been part of the same voting process, in which case it was between two characters with similar like playstyles.
I mean, I don't know much about this character, but Squiggly's got a lot of things that kind of tie into the world building, so it made more sense for her to.
And again, I said it just a second ago, and I said it back when we were actually doing the Beowulf stuff, but she actually shows up at the very end of Beowulf's storyline inside of Double, because Double has eaten this character alongside a bunch of other ones.
Yeah, all of the failed DLCs.
Yeah, a lot of the failed DLC guys. Fang! His character shows up in Cerebella's stuff. It's an acrobat.
Alright.
Fang is fine. There's nothing wrong.
Is she card suit?
I don't even think she is. No, she is yin and yang, and I think that's it.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, okay. Hive. Bees!
Bees!
Literally just bees. She got bees for arms. Look at that.
Yeah.
Big gross hive arms.
Yeah.
How do you feel about insect characters that are humanoid?
Fine. Those arms are a bit much, though.
His arms are kind of gross.
Yeah.
Also, I can't tell if her torso is actually a gas mask.
Maybe?
It looks a little bit like it could be, but that might be a belt, and I can't quite tell. It would probably look better in motion, to be honest, because I'm not really sure how this character works immediately.
I'm
This
not
is the only
opposed
art
to
I've ever
bug
seen.
ladies. It's just those arms are a bit much. That's all.
Okay, this is... I can't pronounce his name. Hubricht. So I think I talked about this guy as being almost Mr. Hart when we were originally doing the earlier stuff. But it's literally like there are so many hearts going on in this guy's design. It's a really cool character, and I think he and Beowulf were like, I think they were part of the same voting
Yeah, I could see them being the same niche for fighting style.
And Beowulf wound up beating him out, but there were a lot of people who actually really wanted this design to go in. They wanted this
He's
guy.
a bit plain.
He's
They could have done. They could have given him a tattoo or something. Just give him more visual stuff going on.
He probably also would have played as a much bigger version of Beowulf.
Beowulf's big enough.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Ilium.
Oh, this thing.
Yeah, Ilium was totally a character that people wanted to get in there. She almost did. I think she's part of Avian's lab, and she's kind of just almost like a good version of Painwheel. She's made of organs. That's the thing. Like, anytime that she does attacks, and like they had tests, not animations, but some like cells come up where they were like, oh, this is kind of how we want her to play. I think a lot of her stuff was like she'll throw punches and kicks and they kind of spindle out and it's clear that they're just made of intestines.
Okay.
And then at some point she would do other moves where like she
Hitmonlee.
drops to the ground and her skirt kind of opens and she's just a pile of organs laying there and then would pull herself back together.
Okay,
And it's like,
so
oh,
kind
gross.
of like Double Light.
A little bit, yeah. Well, like a cross between Double and Painwheel is how I feel like it would be.
Which is a weird cross.
Because she doesn't have a face. That's a mask entirely.
Yeah.
She's just organs.
Where's the hair growing from?
It's probably attached to the mask. I think you can see eyeballs in there as well.
Why has she got boobs if she's nothing but
those
organs?
are also organs or like physical things that are just sitting inside of that dress. It's not actual boobs. Isaac.
Whoever. Whatever. I don't know.
I don't know. Guy in a pinstripe suit with time powers.
Okay.
Okay. Ledoux or Leduc? Leduc. He is from the Avian Lab.
Okay. What's his gimmick?
I don't know. I actually do not know very much about him.
He's got needles for feet?
If he's from the Avian Lab, most of this is going to be mechanical, so he might not have arms and legs. Yeah, I can't tell if those are supposed to be lights on his arms, so that might be it.
Okay.
He does have needles for feet, yeah. He's like a shonen protagonist, I think. I don't know. Minette. Yeah, Minette was almost a DLC character. People got really pissed off when she did not win the bowl
cute.
she was in.
She's got a good design. I like fish people.
Minette is super cute and people really liked her.
And there are no actual playable fish people in the game.
No, there are not. Despite the fact that they are a huge, huge race in the background and in the storyline, there's no actual playable fish people.
Yeah, so she should have been in.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. She would have probably played as a really cool character, too. Molly.
This thing.
She's got a rotary phone, and I'm actually disappointed that this is not the art of her in the rotary phone mech. Because that thing that she's wearing, I think, is supposed to hook into her gigantic telephone mech.
Okay.
She's some kind of secretary, I think. But yeah, you can tell that the ring around her is meant to be a big rotary phone.
Yeah. She's just... Who the fuck is this?
Atomo. That is Atomo. He is, I think he's a salamander.
What?
And he's inside of a robot body.
Okay. I've never seen this.
Look at him.
Yeah, what the hell is this? Why does he want to be the SkullGirl?
It's probably Automo, by the way. Like Ottoman, but not. I'm saying Atomo because clearly he's an automaton. With a tiny man inside. This cartoony little axolotl looking motherfucker. He might also be a naked mole rat.
Yeah, an axolotl would have like the thinny things.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just a tiny little guy living inside of a robot body.
Yeah, okay.
There's Panzerfaust.
Yeah. He skipped leg day, I see.
Yeah, no, he totally did. He is every grapple character ever who is giant and beats people to death.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing else to say. He's an egret. Most of the characters would probably just barely come up to his stomach. Like, he's gigantic.
They would have had to have sized him down if he got in the game.
And he has a tank for an arm.
Which would look really silly if they sized him down, because then it would be a tiny toy tank.
He's probably about the same size as Big Band, maybe a little bit taller than Big Band.
Big Band takes up half the screen. You can't get taller.
No, you can totally get taller than him.
That's bullshit.
Regina, which is... It's more music-themed characters. There were a lot of them, actually. Also skipped leg day. No, it's just the pants are really puffy.
This artist has a tendency to do really dramatically tapered calves.
I don't dislike it. It's super duper.
It seems that
dynamic, I guess.
It seems that for the finished sprites for the characters in the game, someone went in and fixed it, and I'm glad they did.
It's got a lot of character, and I actually personally really like it.
Yeah, but then someone else, I'm assuming, went in and was like, "Hey, Beowulf should have calves."
Yeah,
and then they fixed it.
Probably. Roxy, that's
just Rosie the Riveter.
I mean, it's literally just Rosie the Riveter. She consistently has this thing on her back that kind of looks like a big riveting gun, but then sometimes it's a vacuum cleaner, and I can't remember what it actually is supposed to be. I think it is a vacuum.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that, but I want to say it's actually
It could be a lot of giant fucking construction-related things.
Yeah,
There's stuff like that for
she's also an
stuff.
egret, by the way.
So that's a Nazi?
Yeah, well, they're rolling
Kind
everybody from World War II into one group.
That's a little bit of an odd thing to roll together.
Well, I mean, the egrets have this weird flair that looks Nazi about them, but they're actually not supposed to be bad guys. So it's this weird kind of they're kind of going with just everything at once?
Yeah, that's really weird of them.
Yeah, it's a very strange concept. Samson as just himself.
Wait a minute.
This was a thing that I think they tossed around the concept of, and I don't remember if this was actually debated on for DLC. Roxy was a DLC character who almost got in.
I don't think this would have worked.
I think Samson may have been almost a DLC character who got in. I don't know, though. I don't remember. People are going to probably call me out on saying that, because if he wasn't... But yeah, it's just it's Samson with Philly on his head.
This would have probably just brought up too many questions.
Well, I think this would have brought up more answers, because in the story mode for Samson, then it would have been this is Samson's backstory,
maybe,
which touches Leviathan and Eliza and all of the other things like that.
Philly is there, so
Philly has got to be there for something. This is Scythana, who is she's a Grendel giant.
Okay.
So I think I had mentioned at some point that there was actually a planned and a character who didn't make it in. This is the planned character who didn't make it in. She's about 15 feet tall, by the way.
I'm gonna assume it's intentional. With
she's tall enough that she probably would not have been the same size as Big Band. She probably would have been much larger than Big Band. This character would not have been scaled down. They would have tried to go for it. So it's she's supposed to be the same. I think might be a half Grendel giant. I don't know.
She has one horn. That would be something you do if you want to indicate a half.
Yeah, and she is locked up. She's permanently chained like this, and she fights like this. Mm-hmm. And I think she's a captive of the egrets. I think she's taken out of prison and forced to fight or something like that.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
So yeah, and she got them big old.
Did she do it? Did she do whatever she was in jail for? Is she actually a criminal?
I have no idea. She didn't make it out of the DLC voting pool. This was another character that people really wanted, though. So that happened. Stanley. Stanley's the best.
Hi.
Hi, Stanley.
There's no bridge to his glasses.
No, he's a shark. His eyes go in two different directions.
But how are they staying on?
They're probably attached in the back. Those could be clamps.
Do those go in his ears or something?
He doesn't have ears. This might be taped on. I don't know.
Okay.
I think Stanley gets real strong sometimes, he hulks out, and also he's a scientist, which I guess is also something that the Hulk does.
Alright, just Dr. Shark.
Yeah, he's a small shark doctor. He's actually shorter than most of the characters in this game, too.
Okay.
He's just a little shark Dr. Stanley. He's my favorite character for the DLC, guys. This is I can't pronounce that.
What did it say?
Taliesin?
Taliesin, yeah.
Taliesin.
It's a name from, I want to say, Welsh, and that it's used pretty frequently as just a sort of a stock name for when you have a bard.
Yeah, this is a bard with a human for a fucking instrument.
Literal objectification.
A little bit, yeah.
Some people
I can't tell if the bard's a lady or not. It looks like it could be an elf or something based on the ears.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
If they're not in the game, so
Umbrella.
Hi, you look like you almost got finished animating.
Oh yeah, she did. she has a bunch of stuff in the story mode, so
yeah.
I think she shows up in the background of certain stages too. So Umbrella was probably planned from the start, and then she didn't make it, and they went, oh well.
They looked
just
at
took
her,
the assets and threw them in other places.
And they looked at Peacock, and they thought, we need to pick one, guys.
No, I'm sure Peacock was planned from the very beginning, and then after the game was finished, they were like, let's do Umbrella. And then they didn't finish Umbrella.
They've got, like,
a
lot of
similarities
visually.
Yeah. Venus, who's the other person who hangs out with doubles ending characters.
Is she going to finish getting dressed?
She has teeth in her body. I think her whole body opens up. Like, I think she can disjoint every part of her body as one gigantic mouth if she wants to, which would explain why it is that she's kind of dressed this way, because you can see it right underneath her, like on her sides. She has other art in here that looks like her body's literally just opening up and she's one gigantic mouth.
Blech.
Yeah, she's like terrifying in the same way Double's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, okay.
Hi. Yuan. Yeah, he's there. And that's actually the end. There's nobody there anymore.
Okay.
Yep. So Yuan shows up in ms.fortune stuff, and I think he was almost a DLC character as well. It would have been the other person who could have been a fish man on the roster.
Yeah, well, they should have just gotten one fish person in.
Yeah.
We're not going to redo
not
the cinematics.
doing the cinematics.
Fuck that.
Yeah, hold on. I want to make sure that I'm going the right way. Yeah, lineup shots. So cinematics, story art. Some of this is interesting, but I'll do character to character when we're doing that. I'm not going to go through.
Yeah, I don't know. Here. Like, there's probably going to be specific things we'd want to zoom in on, but we don't want to spend forever on it.
Environments are pretty cool. I really do like some of these, but what would make this way better is if they included the characters in the backgrounds for some of these shots.
Yeah, which are randomized.
Yeah,
so
which
I
are
guess
randomized, so they're not there, and it's like, oh, give me the ability to look through some of those. Some of them are Kickstarter backers, and they're really cool looking. This one's just got a picture of Squiggly. This is like concept art for a stage.
Okay, yeah.
It's really nice, actually. Like, some of these are beautifully
It's got kind
drawn,
of a Times Square
honestly.
thing going on with that other one.
Like, a lot of these are really, really just absolutely gorgeous.
I'm not good at backgrounds.
No,
I
I'm
respect,
fucking
I
awful
respect
at
the
backgrounds,
craft.
too. I can't draw a background to save my life. Some of the DLC characters actually show up in Beowulf's thing as well. You got the Clubs girl there, and then the Heart guy, and then Minette, and then Beowulf, Annie. I can't tell who that is immediately.
It says Automo on it, and I can't tell who that is on the side.
That's the Scythana.
Okay.
And then
who knows?
Stanley. It's Stanley. I can see him.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very faintly see Stanley there. But yeah, no, Beowulf stage is pretty cool. I like it. But yeah, no, just some of these are absolutely gorgeous. And, like, I don't know. I'm terrible at backgrounds, so I'm always impressed by backgrounds.
Oh, yeah. Backgrounds is hard.
This one we almost never get to see the full shot of, but this is a background that it only shows up in the tutorial and the test area. So I don't think this ever showed up in any of the storyline stuff, as far as I can remember.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
It's just ruled paper, which is really nice, and then the teacher right there in the very center, and that's the center of the stage, the big red line. And that's it. This is their empty white void that every single fighting game ever has.
Do they?
Most of them do. I think it's very rare to have a fighting game that does not have literally just the open,
okay. I don't know if I've seen it in the other games.
Oh, shit, I went back. Oh, no. I'll go this way. But yeah. Most games do that. I think it's rarer to find games that do not do that than games that do that.
All right.
So yeah, there's environments. So then we go over to arcade sticks, which we didn't have unlocked when we originally did.
Yeah, and we kept being like, "What the fuck are arcade sticks?" It's apparently decals you can put on an arcade stick.
Oh yeah, no, I'm aware of that. I knew what they were. I just wasn't sure how to unlock them.
And they just all unlocked at once when we beat Storm.
Yeah, when you beat
arcade with everyone.
If you beat arcade mode with everybody, you unlock these. They're just tournament sticks that are actually super nice, actually. Like, this is the 2011 convention tournament stick, apparently, for SkullGirls.
And you can't, like, print these out from the game's gallery to make your own?
Yeah, I mean, the gallery is just to really show things off. You may have been able to find this online and print it out when they did this. But yeah, these are decals. You'd have the stick would be on the left-hand side because most of them are right-handed. And then the buttons would be on the right. So a lot of these characters' faces would get kind of janked up. But that's just kind of how sticks are.
Yeah, it's just about the graphical design.
Valentine's
having some trouble there.
Yeah, the Valentine in this one is not that...
Suspension of disbelief, guys. That's not gonna work.
I don't know.
At that point, just don't even draw the shirt on her.
Some of these just wind up being really good pieces of art. Some of them eventually start turning into, like, reused pieces of art. So some of these are really good, though.
Mm-hmm. This one's set in the corner. This one was commissioned.
Yeah, this is commissioned by someone, and it's done by Alex Ahad.
Yeah, someone specifically wanted that not quite a panty shot, but pretty close on that high school girl.
A little bit.
We're gonna just ignore that.
There's what's her face opening up. Like I said, she is just one big full body mouth.
Okay.
And
someone really liked her.
I think it's more than just her torso. Like, I think a lot more of her can open up as a mouth.
Okay.
She's also got all the mouth imagery in the background too.
And she didn't make it in the game.
Yep, no, unfortunately. There's some more. This is just, concept stuff. This one actually has button configuration, so you see where it goes.
It's got like everyone on it, doesn't it?
It has most of them. I don't think it's all of them. It's all of the original characters. It doesn't have any of like the DLC guys, but it has all.
And there's a rehash of that Marie over on the side.
Yeah, that Marie gets reused an awful lot.
It's
down
a
in the
good
bottom
Marie.
right-hand corner.
It's the way where they put it makes sense.
Yeah, for this. Yeah.
Having her be background like that works.
So some of these,
pretty okay.
Like I said, some of them totally show you where the buttons and the stick go. So like this is the general design. So what I really don't like about arcade sticks when it comes to stuff like this is that it has to destroy the art to some extent.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like making an omelet.
You could draw it around them, I guess.
You can't do it, but. Yeah, at the same time, the other option is drawing it around them, which just kind of looks goofy, especially if you have alternative button configurations to things like this.
You could make it work.
So it's like, Some of these are really good, though. I do like some of them. Some of them are, like, very nice graphically.
That's kind of a spoiler image for Philia on that one. No, a lot of them are just like stock art. That's from the end of her story mode.
Yeah.
It's also kind of depressing. Why do you want it here?
Peacocks, too.
Oh, yeah. I was like, these are a little spoilery. What are these doing here? Yeah. I guess if you bother getting an arcade stick and putting SkullGirls on it, you already know.
You've probably played a lot of the game.
Yeah. Still weird, though.
A lot of these are just really nice, like, setups for the characters. A lot of it is, like, stock art. Some of them is stuff like this, which is literally just a loading screen. A lot of it is repurposed, but they still find a way to make it look awfully nice, in all fairness.
Yeah.
I think wrong one. Sorry, wrong button. This one I really do like.
Yeah,
because
they're doing
it's
the
got
Disgaea
the symbols
team-up
going
sort of
on,
thing
and,
going.
Yeah, it's like the vertical images, which are super nice.
Yeah.
This one's okay. It's got the intro for the game.
It's got
kind of
Painwheel's face on it. That's kind of important.
You
don't see that often.
Yeah, her with the mask off there. Yeah.
And down in the corner, Sarabella was doing the thinking emoji.
Yeah, kinda. This predates that, though.
Yeah. It's funny now, though.
Just Valentine specific, Double specific, Marie specific. And you can kind of feel like how some of these are just reused art assets, in all fairness, but they still look nice. They
take a thing they already drew and maybe put it on a different background they already drew, and then put new text on it.
And these are, I'm sure people are absolutely overjoyed to have arcade sticks that have these characters on them as well.
Yeah,
it's nice
they're never
going to
get a second game, so might as well.
Yeah.
What are you? Go back to.
Hold on. There's I know what you want me to do, and there's actually a better way to do it. So. I want to say it's not production art. Is it? No? Is it not in here? Where is it? Oh no! Is it key art? Oh no!
No, I think you do have to go through each character.
You have to go through each character to make it do?
I think so.
Oh, what a pain. Okay. Who should we start with then? Do you want to start with Philia?
Start at the beginning, yeah.
Okay. We'll start with Philia then.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm trying to speed through this and it's freaking out. Okay, so a lot of the setup for each of the characters' stuff is going to be a nice action shot of the character, their poster, this lineup shot, and then we start going into concept art.
Yeah,
and the concept art is some of the strongest bits of these galleries, if I'm to be honest.
Yeah, and this is like the guide for the animators for how to keep the proportions consistent and stuff.
Yeah, and there's style notes and stuff going on. Quick story that I don't think I've actually told yet in this. I was almost... I had almost applied to be a cleanup artist on SkullGirls. So, like, full discretion, I probably should have pointed that out when we started the game. I did not. I used to run with a group of artists who, as of now, have kind of disbanded an awful lot. And one of them wound up being an actual animator for SkullGirls. And around the time that SkullGirls was being produced, they were looking for artists. There was a big push to just drag artists onto it. So he went into our group of people and went, hey, everybody, which was like 5 people. He went, here, fill out these applications and fucking, like, you know, put them in. I like this one because it kind of has the different colors going on too. A lot of these are literally just, this is the same, but it's a different color scheme for the character, and then there's actual explanations for stuff going on as well. But yeah, I almost applied. I chose not to because at the time I was kind of unsure of my artistic ability to be a cleanup artist for it. I will probably regret that forever because, like, just telling people that I could have applied or that I did apply, even if I didn't get the job, would have been amazing, and I would have loved to have done that. That being said, after I chose not to, I also handed the application over to you, and I believe you also chose.
Yeah, I had no idea what this was, and it's full of boobs, and I looked and I was like, I don't know what this is. I'm not an animator. Look at all these hams. No thanks.
Yeah, and it would have been cleanup, which is
I've never
super
done that
easy.
anyways.
It's literally just, it's not easy, but here's the sketch lines. Now go in and do, like, line art and make sure that the line art looks clean and works properly and stuff like that. It's
which
like,
I probably could have done, but, you know, like, they're gonna want someone who knows what they're doing instead of someone who has to be shown.
There she is without pants, apparently.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Too hot for
I
you, too.
I understand why they need it for the concept
She
art.
is without skin.
You just need to know how her boobs interact with her chest, which is actually good. I'm glad they did that.
That is really nice.
Because a lot of these designs kind of look like someone didn't put the thought into how the boobs
and
work.
this is basically from Alex Ahad's, like, notebook, I think, for a lot of the characters' designs on these characters.
Yeah,
there's some facial expressions. There's some Samson expressions.
Like, if you're going to draw a bunch of big old bouncing titties everywhere, at least understand how they interact with the chest instead of just drawing whatever you think looks good when you zoom in on it and see the boobs and just the boobs.
I like this Samson on the back of her head because he doesn't have his teeth, so it just looks like a Muppet. She just got Muppet head.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, all of this stuff is super good, though, and it's basically just, here's an incredibly detailed map of the character.
Yeah, which is always good.
And here she is in a different color scheme.
Was this, like, the original color scheme for her? Because it's not as nice.
I would say that there is a chance that that's the case, but I don't know. It's just a lot of her art appears with this color scheme, so it kind of makes me think it could be, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's not as nice.
It isn't as nice, I agree. The one that they went with was way fucking better. Here's another bunch of color schemes for her.
Alternate outfit?
Yeah, alternate outfit, because I'm guessing that this may have been, like, an earlier version of her outfit.
And I think I like it better because it doesn't make it look like she is supposed to be a schoolgirl, but it's not driving that point home really hard.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, this just makes it look like she's not supposed to be a sexy Halloween costume. Which I think is the point for a lot of these characters. Like, Valentine has it going on too. Like, I get it, but, like, I kind of don't want it.
Yeah, so this, by the way, I think marks the end of the concept art, and then we flick over into character art, which some of these are really, really good, but it's like, you have stuff where it's like, literally, this is the shot from the poster.
Yeah.
And then commissioned artwork or artwork they did for holidays around the release of SkullGirls.
Are they trying to ship these two? Is that why they're Valentine's
I don't think so.
Day?
I think it.
Where's Valentine?
So again, when the game was first pitched, like when the first the stuff was coming out about the game, these were the two characters that they pushed right at the start. These, I think, were also the first 2 characters that they finished. So in most of the early builds of the game, you only had Philia and Cerebella to play as, which is why their designs kind of feel like
that
they
didn't
come
stop
from a
them from
similar
spamming
era.
some of the characters who never made it in.
Oh, yeah. No.
So Valentine's Day, where's Valentine?
I don't know. Valentine
Maybe
may
they did
have
her a
not
later
been
year.
revealed at the time or something like that. So she, basically though, these 2 wind up being in a lot of stuff because they were the Ken and Ryu of this series, like at the very start, which isn't really a good example because that's not really what they are. Oh, and then we go into her story stuff. So there's her story
I don't
stuff.
know if there's anything there that we need to relook at.
I think I pointed out in the original version that this is based on an actual really well-known painting that some people think incorrectly is a painting of hell. Because there's no door on that cafe.
It's just off screen.
It's just this really dismal, dingy, like incredibly sad-looking place, and then there's no door on a cafe where people in the original version just look really depressed to be there and unhappy that they're trapped in this horrible cafe. But yeah, it's just off screen. In fact, I'm pretty sure the original artist pointed out when people brought that to his attention that he's not an architect. He just put the door off screen.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it was based, the original was referenced off of like an actual location, and he just didn't have the door in the shot.
I don't think it is, and I think that's one of the reasons why people were so confused about it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Madman's Cafe.
I'm sure it's called something else.
Yeah. The original one is called something completely different. Oh, wrong way. Sorry. So then we got Cerebella, and we've got the character art, and then we've got the poster again. There's the shot, and then you come in here, and it's like, yeah, more of this, and some of the concept stuff for Cerebella.
I want to see some of the notes on her.
Which one?
Maximum tension, squish, almost pouring out, little open mouth emoji.
There.
Someone is thinking way too hard about those boobs.
Yeah. Well, people are talking about like, oh yeah, no, it just needs to be fluid. She needs to be drawn and animated in a way where she has a lot of like fucking, I don't know, bounce or something.
Yeah, I can tell that's what they want. Wait, go back.
Okay.
Zoom in between her and that little one on the side. No, other way.
This way?
Yeah. Remember, line width, weights, blocky, weight of arms. Keep that boob curve tension saucy, and then a little emoticon. Just fucking quit drawing with your dick.
Remember, these lines are on multiply, meaning you can chisel away at the line width, sharpen corners, mix up the line width through this method.
Yeah, that one's not funny.
No, it's not.
It's easier to draw with your hands.
Yeah. Oh, wrong way. Sorry, my bad. There we go. And then there's the concept for like how the characters' color schemes change. They have to get some of the stuff that is otherwise invisible, like her underwear and her actual gloves, because she is wearing gloves underneath that.
Okay. Into
the actual shot. So they're like, hey, look at this. This is how stuff works. This, by the way, is the whole creative... and her tongue, because her mouth opens sometimes.
Okay.
But this is really kind of the whole creative process behind designing characters like this when it comes to just video game style stuff. If you have to do multiple color schemes, or if you have to show a character and you have the original art, which would just be the big picture of her, and you're like, okay, now I need to sit down and show people what the rest of this looks like, you will literally sometimes have to just scratch in pictures and be like, okay, this is like the hand of this character because I realized that I drew it and you can't see her hand.
Yeah,
or something like that.
I've done similar things for my personal color palettes of things.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Then you got her and without her hat on. And some other stuff going on here. I think one of those is her without her dress, but I can't tell. And then a lot of concept art. Some of these characters have a ton of it sitting in here, and it's actually really nice. Yeah. It's really detailed, and it's clear that this was like the more fluid, I'm just going to sit down and sketch this character kind of art. So it's like, this is really nice.
Yeah, just to get a feel for just in general what they're looking for.
Yeah, and there's some facial expressions going on over here, including that top right one, which is probably my favorite. Which shoe? Oh, her
shoe.
Weird fucking elf shoe?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta break her toes every so often.
Yeah, every so often.
Her and her
is it the
bunny
same
outfit from the very end of her story.
Is it the same hat with a different
I think it's the exact same hat, and the hat has just changed.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know either. It's titled Sarah Bunny, by the way.
Put on a shirt.
There's the Okay, so anytime that you have characters who are both in one picture, it's going to show up again in here. And it's a little bit annoying that it happens. So, like, if you have 3 or 4 characters in one shot, it'll show up in 3 or 4 characters.
Let's not keep looking at it.
I know, I'm just saying. Some of these are really good, though. This is done by... this is not an Alex Ahad one, by the way. This is Mariel Cartwright, apparently. But yeah, just big old pictures, and then you got the
story art. We don't need that
stuff. Wrong way, Josh. There we go. Peacock, 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 and then Peacock!
This is where it gets complicated.
Yeah, Peacock is incredibly complex. Literally things like, okay, she needs to be shaped like a bell, and then immediately go on to, this is what the bird looks like, here's an entire concept of her gun, here's how the hat opens up, this is what the bird looks like when it's standing, here's how the mantle on her dress works, here's how her, like, everything under the dress looks.
You need to know the individual parts to her arm thingy.
To the eye, to her hands, under the gloves. 3 concepts for how the shoes work, including the jet-propelled ones, the way that the shoes actually function, where there's 2 separate sets, and then a spring in her ankle. And then over here, where it's like, here's exactly how many heads tall she is,
there's
including this tiny, like, inch of a head that we had to cut off. So there's literally just this splattered, like, skull top.
Yeah, they had fun with that.
Her back, including like how it works underneath the mantle, amongst other things, and how a bunch of this other stuff works. Why is Peacock so complex?
Because her gimmick is very hard to explain.
Here's the bear trap in her mouth, which, yes, does pop out sometimes. Here's her looking from different angles. And when the bear trap pops out, they make very close attention, or, like, they make a lot of like, effort to point out that she has empty tooth sockets in there as well. Here's, like, 4 guns.
4, exactly 4.
Pictures of guns. There's the bird. There's the little bomb. Okay, here's the problem. Even though I main Peacock, I can never remember these 2 specifically.
Oh, I don't know.
I remember everybody else who's a part of her
Birdman
lineup.
And Bomb
And these 2 are the ones that you're going to use the most out of her stuff, too. And I could just never remember them for some strange reason. That's Peacock, again, just a bunch of setups from the original, the first one, but then they reorganized them in case. Okay, this is the one from the poster. This is some really nice chibi art of Peacock drawing herself, which is, and with a dry erase marker even, which is absolutely adorable. Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's Valentine's Day artwork for Peacock.
Oh, hey,
so happy
it's the
Valentine's
skull
Day.
heart.
Yeah, it's the skull heart, and then also ms.fortune and Peacock just hanging out. Yeah. So you can kind of feel how they wanted some of these characters to go, where it's like they wanted them 2 off, and then popping them like left and right. Here's these 2 characters together, these 2 together, these 2 together.
Okay.
Just the way that they were, set up, and then how
different.
they came out and stuff like that. This is also Alex Ahad, this one.
Okay.
But yeah, this is Halloween. Peacock got the Halloween stuff, I think. Most of it, not all of it, but she did get a lot of Halloween art. The moon is the bomb, by the way.
Oh, hey, it is.
Just in case you didn't notice. It's got the big 8 on it and everything.
That's clever.
Yeah, and her broom has peacock feathers, and also the little pumpkins trailing after her, also the bomb. There's some candy corn going on there, too. This is just an overall really nice piece of Halloween art. And then Umbrella. So, this is... Okay, Umbrella's here, right? The reason Peacock is tagged in this one and it shows up in her gallery is because that is Peacock's symbol. The little
Also, Umbrella doesn't get her own.
Yeah, Umbrella doesn't get her own. Every character on this, I think, has this image in their gallery. And oh my god,
because I didn't see it in the
I don't
others.
remember. But like, some of these are really, really like... intricate little snow like flake artworks, and they're like really, really cool, and I don't know why this is in Peacock's gallery.
I don't know.
It's
nice,
beautiful.
though.
Don't get me wrong. Like for as far as graphic design goes, this is really nice.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell who's who. Like I can see Ms.Fortune. I can see Pain Wheels. Obviously, is a wheel. Makes it
Philia is actually on this, and this wasn't in her gallery, so maybe this isn't in everybody's.
On hers.
Yeah, it's scissors,
and
combs, and the Samson's jutting like tentacles.
Yeah.
And then just a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
And then this, which does show up on all three of these characters. So this is really nice. We never get any implication, to my knowledge, that Peacock can play the piano.
Yeah, that doesn't come up.
She does have some music-themed stuff in her moveset. Like, she plays the banjo, but you don't see anything involving the piano.
Do you think she does it good, or do you think she's just mashing at it just because?
She might just be mashing on it. When she plays the banjo, it's literally just like strumming it super hard as she does like a guitar slide across the ground.
Yeah, so like she might not actually know how to play these things.
No, not at all.
She just has them.
But it just sounds like crap. That's back to her story. So then we go over to Parasol. I'm just gonna show this one and then skip the next two because who cares?
Yeah.
Because it's literally just
the same stuff.
And then we go into her concept art, which is really nice as well.
Long legs, yeah, we noticed.
Yeah, slender, a majority of her height. And it's
Hold on,
yeah,
can you
that's
zoom in
80%.
on that weird panty diagram there?
This one here?
Look at the old censored anime for miniskirt references.
Look at the old censored anime. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Nice thighs, but not fatty, juicy thunder thighs.
Where does it say that?
Right below that.
Oh, God.
It's like you know where the priorities were with a lot of these characters.
There's something about a butt there.
Like just
gun is hidden in a holster on the back of the belt. Under sweater, see underwear layer for said belt. So she has a belt underneath this that you don't see normally.
Okay.
But there is a gun there, and it's this gun, presumably. The gun is a Luger, a bit stylized in proportions and has a cross marking on its side.
There's just a lot of things in here where it's like completely transparent that they were they were jerking off when they did this. I'm sorry.
Come on, that's
There's
too
no nice
graphic.
way
Don't
to
be too
say it.
graphic
There's
about
no
it.
nice way to say it, and they should have calmed down
There's
a
an
little.
entire page of panty shots.
Just her hips, just bringing it around town.
She actually has a lot of really good facial expressions as a character. Like, it's not
They
bad.
have to make up for the fact that one eye is usually covered.
Yeah, which is,
stylistically.
it's hard to do. I know how difficult it is to not be able to show eyes or eye movement and have certain characters have to still show emotion because it's so hard. It is incredibly difficult.
It's doable.
Yeah, it is. It is. But you have to like kind of fall back on some of the like the Jim Henson production stuff for stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people don't know, if you haven't looked into it, the Jim Henson Company used to do a series of lectures where they would talk about making characters emote despite having no facial movement whatsoever outside of like sometimes blinking and like flappity flap mouths. There's
Yeah,
the
it can
Luger
be
again.
hard, so it's good to have a sheet of expression.
Yeah, that's really nice. Her with a single egret, which you almost never see.
Yeah, there's always like 5 of them.
Yeah, I think there's
behind
like
her at
3
all
or
times.
4 that you always see bumbling around in the background.
Yeah.
Case in point. Yeah, and then there's
Sure.
her in a bathing suit, I guess.
I don't know what she needed the knife for.
This is Brian June, I believe, who's a different artist than... I mean, he does a bunch of the art that we've seen
This
so far.
is a different outfit, too.
Yeah. But, yeah, the other ones had big pictures
this
in it,
her
like Alex
story
Ahad and the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is from her story.
We can skip that.
Yep.
We've seen that.
Oh, actually, there was something in here that I kind of wanted to point out, though, which was this picture. No, it's actually the one after this as well. But yeah, this picture is a big one because you see her for a split second during Parasol's storyline as like literally just, oh, well, they caught this character. And that's where Scythana's kind of like
I want to know what the
shoehorned
crime was
into
and
it.
if she was framed.
Probably murder of some sort.
If she was gonna be in the story, presumably she's not super evil, so maybe
Yeah.
there was like something complex going on.
This is what I meant by you always see like 5 of them sitting around in the background just bumbling about.
Yeah, just sort of sitting
Like just these
around.
egrets doing things like busy work, and then you've got like Roxy with her riveting gun and Wobbuffet and the most boring man alive, and then this giant tank man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their flag is just a big umbrella. Apparently that's the Canopy Kingdom's flag, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird that the country's umbrella themed and the game kind of isn't.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, presumably maybe the Canopy Kingdom isn't the kingdom that everybody is living in, but I would have to assume.
Oh.
I think we figured it out looking at this, but this I think
it
was
just
actually...
says it, original model.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is her alternative color scheme in the game, but this was her original color scheme.
Was the game originally going to be like pixels?
I don't know. But this is clearly pixel art for people who can't tell. This is like an actual
pretty
pixel
okay,
art
but I like pixels for a lot of things. I think for this style, it's better with the drawn art.
A lot of fighting games do use pixel art prior to a certain point, so if they wanted to emulate older fighting games, they may have done that.
Yeah, but like this style looks better when it's just
honestly,
drawn.
I agree.
A lot of the way
entirely.
that the dramatic tapering on legs and stuff goes, it's like it's not really conductive for sprite work.
I like how they keep having the general shape of the character in the corner,
and they are all pretty
really
varied.
Nice.
Yeah, like they didn't make them all cookie cutters.
No human ears, by the way.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
So yeah, they point that out, and then here's like an entirely way too detailed version of like this is how her body disconnects.
It's detailed, but that's the kind of detail you want for this.
Yeah, for a character like this,
Yeah.
it's important. And then pretty much everything about her is just literally here. I think that's it. And then we got stuff like this.
Alternate
is alternate costumes. So this is the original. And then you have a bunch of different ones
like
that I think they
these.
probably were just trying to... With her, they were probably just trying to tool around and find costumes for a while.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is the only one where they have a page of entirely different costumes that we tried.
Yeah, I like all of these pretty good.
Yeah, they're all pretty good. She got really good facial expressions, too. ms.fortune's just an overall kind
Some
of
of these
interesting
must be
character.
from early on, because it looks like her face is a little longer.
Yeah,
and
it looks
leaner
like they may have changed her face over time.
Yeah.
And you've got this one of someone's hand touching her.
That could be her own
She
hand.
looks very concerned about it. Now we're just into the art. So, really nice art. This one's great. Far be it from me to point out that this could never have happened, but still. Her hanging out with Minette, because Minette really only showed up in ms.fortune's storyline.
This is the cover for the SkullGirls Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Could be. That was actually a digital commission.
Okay, someone just really liked those characters.
Yeah, well, I guess. And then we slip over into her storyline.
Yeah.
Oh god, I keep hitting the wrong button and going back instead. Painwheel stuff is all really good. It's going to be a lot of colors, and a lot of pain. So that's fun.
They would have had to have been consistent about the position of all of those veins from one frame of animation to the next.
Yes, they would have. And I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff about that in here. Like, veins don't need to be strict. Oh, wait. Okay, maybe not. Solid as other parts, as long as it flows well enough from animations frame to idle frame. Should test if they work okay, and how much effort it takes. It might be more worth it just to reflect the impression of veins through shading rather than color.
So they were looking at it thinking maybe we
it
shouldn't
might be
do
too
the
hard.
veins.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of a lot.
Like almost immediately the anti of what we were saying.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be pronounced. Base, then 8 segments for the head and stuff like that. Yeah, this is just... I mean, it's all very intricate. And then we got to go into how the thing works. This is how concept art works in a professional setting.
This is some good looking
It is
sketch.
some big ass
Look at
sketch
these lines. These are really dynamic.
Oh yeah, no, and this is all Alex Ahad. This is probably like literally straight from a sketchbook because a lot of it looks like it. Like,
I like the indication there that it's not a tail.
Oh yeah, no, it comes out of her back.
Yeah, and that they needed to make sure no one made that mistake.
Yeah, it even looks like a spine a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I think it is part of her spine.
No, I'm almost positive it is, yeah. But yeah, no, some of this is super dynamic and it's really nice.
Yeah, sometimes it's just good to go whole hog with your scribbles.
Painwheel has so much like concept stuff. It's good, but like, jeez. The mask layers, the way that it fits into the bottom of her mouth as well. Mm-hmm. The fact that there's actually 2 layers of mask going on there.
That's weird.
Like this weird Spider-Man shit. That mask is sewn on her face. It's not her face.
Okay, she can take it off Sort of.
I don't think she's supposed to, but yes, she
Yeah.
can. Some other stuff going on. Expression, structure first, then mask. Don't let the mask details rule you.
Yeah. It's good for them to point that out, that it's not completely... Because it would be boring if she couldn't open her mouth or anything.
He's labeled this page the Moe. Like, literally, this is just her without a mask. So here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All this stuff. And then back into her sort of... Oh, yeah, I think we pointed out originally that when you go through her storyline, you don't quite notice it because the pictures move really fast and they cut certain things off. But it looks like the top of her dad's head was unfinished.
Yeah, they just didn't care at that point.
It looks
that was
like his hairline
off-frame.
stopped caring and he was just kind of like...
Yeah.
She gets some really good art during her stuff, though, that you don't quite see, like, the full version of, because a lot of it is, I don't know, it's just a lot of it is off-screen, or it moves very quickly because they wanted to move it around, but it's like, some of this is really impactful and really interesting art, and it's just like, oh god, it looks so good, though.
Yeah, they even make it work that it's got sketch lines kind of showing through. They kind of make it into the texture in a way that looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, into Valentine.
Valentine.
So, first picture,
Can't wait to
poster.
see their notes on what her boobs
Should I go back on
like.
the first picture? Because this one, I think we actually
She's
did
got a
point
lot
out
of
little bit
weapons.
more. Yeah, she has a ton of weapons, and this is the rarely seen, like, body bag, which I think is her jumping...
It's like her
heart
heavy.
attack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it punch or kick? I can't
I
even
don't remember right
It's like
now.
a jumping heavy punch, I think. And there's a man in there who just pops out, who vaguely looks like headless Beowulf a little bit.
Well, it's just a muscular body.
And she's just
Of
using him as a
course.
chair here. Like, he's just
Yeah.
dead. And he's chaired.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's some of the page going on.
Let's see
and
what
then
they
you got
say
this.
about her boobs.
Okay.
Strapless lace bra. I don't think she's wearing anything in there.
Well, they say she is. That's all the notes they really have on her boobs. That's it.
For there. Go
Yeah.
over to the side. Go over to the
Oh,
left.
there it is.
Oh, there we go.
Gap and shadow, boobs, high tension, they should feel heavy,
Heavy.
spillage factor, heavy tension, almost bursting out. Cloth should be taut, almost vertical, except for the bottom part to make sure the nipples are covered. At all times.
And there's her
There's
her
undies,
underpants.
I guess, yeah. Yep. And then there's a lot of concept work going in here as well.
Yeah, it's like I've said, like, at least they pay attention to the rib cage under the boobs.
Notes about the dress as well, like, and how it functions and how it looks from certain angles, how her legs should be working, because she is mostly leg and her fighting style is kind of not super leggy. Oh, I didn't even notice that's totally a fundoshi. The underwear they
The
gave her.
whatever thing.
Yeah, the weird Japanese underwear that nobody ever remembers the name of unless they're Japanese. It's awful underwear, by the way. Those things are apparently, like, horribly painful.
They look kind of gross.
Yeah, they look awful. Yeah, and just really good pictures. Like, almost this entire page is facial
Notice
expression.
how even in her facial expressions, they don't stop at the face. They go down and just cut it off at her boobs. like,
not
come
all of
on.
these. Some of them, sure, but not all of them.
A bunch of them.
Yeah. Just way that her eyes work. She's
They
got a
never
big patch on
explain-
one eye, by
They
the
never
way.
explain her goat eyes.
No, everybody in her group, I think, had different weird-ass eyes, though.
Did they?
Almost positive. She's
Huh.
got the big scar on her face, by the way. But like I said, people, like, very rarely notice that she's got the big fucking patch on the side of her face, too.
Yeah, I frequently forget that's there.
Yep.
And I main her sometimes.
Yeah, I think it sprite swaps as well. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that it sticks to
Fair
one side.
enough. It's a lot of work
Yeah, it's
making
a
these.
ton of work. Okay, this is the first instance of this happening so far in the gallery. There are a handful of these characters who have things that are so detailed that they had to create them in 3D models
Including her hat.
and then move them around so that people could tell what they look like from other angles.
Well, some of these are kind of weird geometrics.
Oh, they super are. And I agree. This is like a really good way to do this kind of stuff. This is actually kind of amazing. But at the same time, it's like, oh my god. These are so detailed. They had to make 3D models for them.
I'm surprised we didn't see a bunch of those for Painwheel or for Peacock.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
Yeah, this makes
that's-
sense.
That is a picture that they also used for her poster.
Yep, the weird booby heart thing.
Yep. So
Okay,
happy
sure.
Valentine's Day a second time. This one is just a pinup for Valentine's Day. Cancer Drive. Apparently they did a Cancer Drive.
This one's anatomy's not as good.
This is Brian Yoon again.
It's the rib cage is a little weird.
It is a little bit off, I will admit.
Hi.
This one looks really good, and I can't tell what the
Peekaboo.
fuck she's unzipping.
A body bag, dude.
No, I know it's a
Come on.
body bag, but I mean, like, what kind of body bag has a weird shape like a big heart on it?
It's Valentine.
I know. That's a t-shirt design, by the way. I should point that out.
Might wear that if I didn't want people to... I'd wear that around the house. If it was outside, I don't want anyone recognizing what it's from.
This is a commission.
Yeah, it's off-model boobs.
Another digital commission. I think that this might be a set of notes that are...
No, this just looks like regular
it's just
anatomy.
normal-
There's no weird.
anatomy
There's
notes.
no weird body horror.
I thought it was
going
going to be weird Valentine notes, because her notes are always weird and stupid.
Yeah, like the one she did on
Oh.
ms.fortune that led to Robo Fortune.
Yes, so we didn't get to see this super well when we were originally going through this, but here are all of those nurses.
Yeah.
So
Dead.
here they are dead, but like you kind of get better shots of some of them. The one there with the needle hands is like really, really good. I think we both agreed that that's like one
the
of the better
weird
designs.
needle goth girl.
There's also some that one kind of looks like a little demon, and then there's the giant nurse, and then there's this one who's literally just like an alternate version of Valentine.
Yeah, like whatever.
And I think they show up more at the end of her story, but I don't... Yeah, there they are. There they are if they were alive. Like... So
Yeah.
it's literally just like, some of these characters
Goth
look
girl
really
best.
good. None of these, I think, were pushed as DLC characters, potentially.
Weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kinda
they'd be
strange.
posthumous, so
Well,
yeah.
yeah, but you could do like a dream style like
Yeah,
storyline. That's fine. That happens.
And we got some good pain wheels in the story arc.
Yeah, some of the story art for Pain Wheel is really nice. Like
Well,
her
it's
tearing the mask
Valentine's
off and being like,
story
I'm
arc.
gonna murder. Yeah. No, some of it's really good. Double stuff is always great. I think in the original version of this video, we sat down and tried to figure out what was going on in like half the pictures of Double, because she has so many
Yeah.
people just growing
Yeah,
out of
there's
her.
some of this is like obscene almost.
Okay, so for this one alone, I think we figured out that that's Painwheel's arm on the left. That's Parasol growing out of her there.
Are we sure? That
Almost
could be a lot of
positive that's
people.
Parasol. But then as you go down, that's Samson, and then that's Philia. It's just Philia's thighs. The hand is Cerebella. There's more Samson coming out of that, and then I can't remember who's at the very bottom.
Yeah, I don't know who has a weird cuff like that.
Yeah, and then she's just got space in the background.
Eh,
Just super nice.
eh.
Like, I don't know, it's really cool.
Yeah, they
Just
put a
everything
lot of
involving
care into
Double.
it.
Pretty much everything involving Double.
And I like to think it wasn't because they were a little too interested in this lady. I like to think
No,
they
I
just
don't think so.
enjoyed the weird detailing on the anatomy.
I kind of like to think that maybe this version of Double here was like designed before the Nun. I
Yeah,
like to think
maybe.
that the Nun was like an afterthought.
Yeah, like they realized she should probably have a form that doesn't like look like an obvious
Yeah.
monster.
Yeah.
And
It's
it works.
literally just a lineup for her.
This is yet another one that's kind of like a sexy Halloween costume. You had the schoolgirl, you got the nurse, you got the nun. A bunch of them don't really fit. And circus performers sometimes look sexy anyway, so I wouldn't call that one of the Halloween ones. But like a bunch of them, I'm gonna guess a bunch of the original concepts were that they were going to kind of make a joke out of those Halloween-y sort of costume concepts.
Yeah,
Which is
probably.
fun.
Sometimes you can see pieces of other characters in her shape. Not that often, though. Mostly general organic pieces, eyes, mouths, and organs.
It was often enough. They made it work really well.
Yeah. Kind of tall, vaguely feminine. Pieces of matter may float and orbit each other as well. Usually ends in darker shadows and veins. Usually narrow top and a thicker base. Double is a shadow of the big bad Lamia. This particular headpiece is from Blank's distinct crown shape.
Okay.
Can fluctuate between looking more coherently human to eldritch abomination. This is from the Cancer Drive. So yes, help fund research me, my little lambs. You're a cancer on another level.
Okay. Yeah.
This, which is really nice.
I kind of like this, yeah.
I don't remember what this is. Oh, it's a postcard.
I like that they're
Surface
pushing the nun thing more with the rosary there. It's a good aesthetic.
It's going way farther.
Yeah, it's really cohesive. Like, just the themes here look really nice.
Well, it's like you have the rosary going on for the nun stuff, but then you also have the bottom right here, which is the what's that called?
Yeah, it's one of those weird hand things.
I want to say that's
a specific symbol.
God, yeah, I can never remember what it's called, but that is a specific like religious symbol.
Yeah.
Annie fighting double.
Was this like a scrap storyline?
This is a commission piece.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then we go into her story art. And some of this is really good too, but then you don't really see very much of it very often. Like this weird room.
Yeah, that like those two really weirdos are in.
Cool, and I like it, but then it's like there's a lot of stuff going on here, and it's a lot to unpack. And yes, it's got those two weirdos in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mouth and the literal whatever. Oh yeah, and then this stuff where you can kind of vaguely tell what they're looking at. It's like yeah, there's a figure kit here. There's some kinds of novels here, Hard Times and Annie books. Some other stuff. Like some of this you could totally tell what it's supposed to be, and then others it's like I have no idea.
Yeah. They had fun with it.
Yeah, no, they had a lot of fun with some of the backgrounds and this stuff. Squiggly.
Alright, we're getting into DLC people.
Squiggly.
DLC people.
So Squiggly's character concept page kind of confused the shit out of me when I first saw this because I couldn't figure out what was going on. It's just the different sizes and shapes and like angles for Leviathan here. And just literally here's how he works. And here's all of the parts of Squiggly kind of broken down and how they move. Her general shape is a little bit different from the others because there's a lot of circular stuff going on with the head. Here's how the toes on her socks actually work and stuff like that. And it's like, this is really interesting.
Yeah, it's I forget that she's not wearing shoes under there.
Yeah, she's not. And then here's like...
Was she buried without shoes?
Why would you bury someone in shoes?
Someone dressed her like this after she died.
Yeah. You can tell in this one, if you look really close, that she's actually got on a unitard underneath her clothing. So she's...
Again, someone put this on her after she was dead.
Yeah.
And she's still not sure who. They didn't put shoes on her. Weird.
Yeah, also, it's apparently a chest plate, and it is not cloth. It is a hard material. And you can see it from some of these from, like, the front sides. Because she's got on this like, one piece, basically, with, like a I don't know, what is that called? Like a bust mantle? And then tights. And then she's got literally, you can see it from the sides here, a armor-plated thing in front of her.
Yeah,
somebody put armor on her chest in the dead. Well, she was dead.
Know.
This is her
really
without
weird.
hair. Look at her without hair.
Yeah. So you can see where her
they just kept, like, mapping her with the red lines where they just kept
They
giving her,
probably
like,
did
weird
that for
3D
everyone,
designs.
but maybe didn't put them in?
Yeah, I guess. And then Leviathan gets his own entire like page of facial animation,
which is a good idea.
Head can change shape, but I don't think we ever get to really see this except during attacks. Like, he never makes these faces enough, honestly. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's his tail. His tail gets its own animations as well. Here's a bunch of facial stuff for her, which is all really nice, obviously. How her arms work and how they move and what her hands are doing inside
those are
the
some
sleeve.
thick sleeves.
Yeah, because they wanted to give her a lot of movement when it came to like the sleeves where it's like they're flowing and they're snapping in different directions.
Just flap everywhere.
But apparently it was also really important to point out, here's how the hands look inside the sleeves, just so that, you know.
Animation's hard.
Animation's super hard. So this is squiggly stuff. Literally just thanks everyone, because I think this is for her getting voted in.
Hey,
yes.
Look down in the bottom right corner of that crowd. Umbrella's mad.
Umbrella's super mad, and Parasol is as well. She's in the bottom left. I think Umbrella was one of the ones who was unvoted because of Squiggly. I think Squiggly was voted in, and Umbrella was part of that poll, and Umbrella did not make it in.
I'm glad Squiggly got in because the stuff where her plot kind of focuses on, like there's a lot of stuff going on there that works really good.
Yeah, as far as storyline characters go, she could have not existed. She could have been replaced by a handful of characters.
Yeah, but it's still, like, what she would put in was worthwhile. I feel like some of the others, I mean, obviously Robo Fortune was kind of just not really anything.
Yeah.
It felt like Beowulf's was kind of attached to things, like, as a secondary thing.
That's the hard plate, by the way. It's the thing that's just
the
right
skull.
on the front. Yeah, it's just the skull.
Yeah, like a lot of the characters who came in later were just, I'm gonna go fight all these guys. I fought them. Hers actually was pretty plotty. So was Eliza's.
A lot of her stuff is literally just her jamming out with a bunch of other characters.
Yeah, because she's a singer.
Yeah, so it's literally her singing with Big Band, her singing with Big Band and Peacock, her singing with Eliza.
Which I'm pretty sure does, like, they encounter each other in Eliza's story.
The end of it is literally she keeps her around. I'm pretty sure.
Something like that.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. She's an early warning skull heart detection system. But yeah, that's the thing from the very beginning of Squiggly's story where you see Double, and she looks like this for one picture, and then you immediately go into other things and you never see this again. And then they kind of expected you to know this at the end of Squiggly's story where she shows up and goes, "Do you remember me? I looked like this," and she looks like I don't even know.
I think it's in the it was a talk image, not a big image.
Yeah. Oh well. But still, like literally she shows up and goes, "Haha, look, here I am." And it's like, "Oh, yeah, that thing from the single picture here at the very start."
Yeah, she's the one who hands the skull heart to her mom.
Yeah, she's the one who gives it over because she knows exactly what
Big Band.
Big Band.
He's got a lot of parts.
Yes, he does. Prepared for not a lot of them to show up in the concept art, though. I don't know what's up with that. So this is Big Band.
He's a fridge.
He is a fridge with tiny little robot legs. As it turns out, there's not much going on for Big Band. He's just kind of like... He looks like a barrel with like a small axle and then legs coming out of it.
Yeah.
You rarely see the inside.
To be fair, there's probably hyperspace involved. Hi, Squiggly.
Yeah, Squiggly's there. That's size. Yeah, for size comparison.
Because she's average sized, I guess.
Yep.
His heels are squishy cloth material for some reason.
Yeah, that's oh god, that's like the things that hold drums up kind of look like that too. That's an actual thing that shows up.
So that they don't make extra clattering noises when you hit them?
I believe that's why, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, no, he's basically just a big drum with legs. And then every so often you'll see, instruments come out or whatever, but this is his basic shape, and the instruments are super hyperspace. Yeah. Like they don't really have any place to sit in here at all, because this is what he's supposed to look like, and if his coat opens during an attack animation or anything like that, that's kind of just what he looks like. But then he'll have the instruments kind of coming out of nowhere from behind the coat.
And we should see we didn't see him yet.
No, not yet.
No?
This is literally just here's his position inside the coat for a ton of his movements. And it's actually, this is all some very interesting stuff. But then you start seeing things like this, and it's like, yeah, this stuff wouldn't be able to fit inside of Big Band's coat at all. Hark, multiple horns, this entire space jazz setup where he's firing off into space. This blast skirt stuff, and then that's his
French horn,
quarter circle double punch, quarter circle forward. My bad, double punch. But yeah, no, that's the big thing he does. This is another one that they had to have 3D models for.
Yeah.
Because I guess nobody could figure out how to do this from certain angles. There's an actual cover that they printed this book thing onto, which it looks really nice.
Are we sure that this wasn't photoshopped on?
I don't know. This also might not be real. I can't tell, because there's also... no, wait, that's a plush version of that thing. Maybe that really is a real plush. I don't know. But Big Band soon. This is teaser artwork for before Big Band came out.
Okay.
And then just a thank you, because he was voted in.
Is there a Mad Umbrella on this one?
We love you guys. You're amazing. Maybe. Yeah, there she is, Angry Umbrella.
Parasol's back there not looking too happy either.
Yeah, Parasol is consistently angry about these. Samson's eating like a loaf of bread or something.
He is. What's wrong with Squiggly?
I don't know. She's kind of looking worried in there, though. Yeah. A gentleman celebrates quietly, by the way. But yeah, no, everybody else is just kind of there. More of this, more of this. And then we go straight into his storyline stuff, which some of his storyline stuff is really nice, and I don't think that we really focus too hard on this. Like so when he was here.
Is that him before he gets like mangled?
Yes, okay. This is him. This is him here. This is him on the left-hand side. That's Ben. So something that I kind of noticed when I was going back through this, by the way. Yeah, no, like for real. But this is Ben. This is the guy from the end of what's her face from Miss Fortune's thing.
Oh, okay.
That's the detective that she teams up with, and I think that this is them busting these guys after they possibly commit this crime. I'm not sure because they break into the household of the Squigglies family and they start shooting up the place and they kill everybody. And then we literally just start back over with, okay, now she's waking up and shit's going on. Yeah, it may have been a bit
after that, but they caught them.
But yeah, no, potentially Big Band and what's his face, I can't even remember his name right now, may have been the ones who broke that up.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
He was much less fridge-sized then.
Yeah, and I can't recognize hardly anybody else here, but those might be dead people, I'm not sure. Here's some other guys just hanging out over here. And then this is all the cops together beating the shit out of Big Band.
Just literally a pig.
Yeah, because he wasn't on the Medici payroll, so he
he's Punisher.
Went ahead and, did whatever, and then they beat the shit out of him. I'm pretty sure there was a broken leg in that picture.
Yep, there is now.
He's just straight up dead, and yes, there's just this weird pig over here.
Because he's a cop.
Yeah, because he's a cop. He's bacon. And then this guy here, who's very happy about this. So yeah, no, that's I don't know, just Big Band stuff. Eliza. And I like how a lot of Eliza's stuff involves her literally just having her skin peel off.
And a lot of very well done Egyptian motifs that they're executed really well.
By the way, she is never in like hands and stuff, and I think we noticed this, but she's never actual bone.
Yeah, like you don't actually see the little the metatarsals or whatever.
Yeah, because I think what's actually going on is that she might not be a skeleton, but her face is kind of a skull.
Also, it's unclear if the skeleton is the parasite or the skin is the parasite.
I'm pretty sure it's the skeleton. There's her poster. There's her weird, sketchy artwork for this. Here's a much more on model, non-sketchy version of that stuff. Here she is without her skin on. So you can see what I mean, where it's like literally there's no segmentation.
That would have been too hard to animate.
Yeah,
I
understand. It probably would have been a big pain in the ass, but I don't think she's supposed to be a skeleton either. I think that's part of it as well.
Maybe.
She's supposed to kind of look skeleton-y, but I don't think she's literally supposed to be a skeleton. I think because she's a parasite too, like Samson and Leviathan. Yeah, because they know each other.
And Leviathan wiggles around and doesn't always have detailing.
This might be some of my favorite concepts, though, because it's just Albus and Horus, who they have to point out are Anubis and Horus.
Duh.
But then it's like these weird facial expressions. Albus has some amazing dog expressions. They are just the best.
Wild one.
Ruffian, bouncer, and attacker. Some stuff for their hands because they share almost the same general hand type and very similar body types, except Horus is bigger going on. He's bigger around the waist, and then Albus is a little bigger around the chest. But it's supposed to resemble a pharaoh's headdress on the back of
his dreads.
The Anubis thing. And then you got Horus, who's literally there. He is without his glasses. And he's just a giant parakeet. And then he gets some really good bird faces, too. He's nearsighted, by the way.
Yeah,
apparently.
Makes sense.
Calm by the books and reserved.
What is a chicken hawk doing here?
It's so good, though. Here's a pinup of Eliza.
Looks good.
Yeah, she's just got these onks ripping at her legs.
I don't even care that she's got giant titties flopping out everywhere because I know they're just made of blood.
Thanks for 600,000. I don't know what 600,000 it was.
Kickstarter goal?
But maybe a Kickstarter goal, yeah. Her fighting Minette and
didn't get
ms.fortune. Yeah. This is the commission. She may have beaten Minette in the actual the poll. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Did you notice that she was unraveling her arm there for no apparent reason other than it looked cool?
Yeah.
It's like, what attack are you even about to do? Are you just doing it because it's cool?
Just gonna I don't know. Maybe she's powering up her fist. Who knows? I mean, she does have it coming up and about the back of her head. Silly.
Maybe she's planning something.
And then you've got this, and then it immediately goes into her stuff. So she actually has a significantly less amount of concept art than anybody else.
Well, she doesn't have a bunch of weird.
Why.
She doesn't have a bunch of weird mechanical parts. Once you know how her weird staff works, you're fine.
Oh, what happened? Oh no!
Oh, don't do
God,
this.
No.
Get out of here.
How do I get out of this? No, stop. I can't turn it off. There we go.
Okay, don't do that.
I thought that was a picture. My bad. No, I just want to look at this weird setup that they had for the ms.fortune stuff.
Yeah, they have a bunch of canopic jars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so Eliza's a really cool character.
Oh,
it's
man,
kind of
she had a long fucking story mode.
She has such a long story mode that they had to give her 2 pages for her story mode stuff, because she has that entire thing at the end where she turns into a giant fucking Bastet mech and has to destroy half the city. But it's she's got this incredibly long story mode. I think it was an hour and 45 minutes when we did it.
It was just, what if you just won everything? What if your character was the best?
Her story is literally just, everything I do, I'm winning. I'm just winning nonstop now.
Yeah,
Here I am.
Makes sense, because in order to get to the end of the story mode, you have to win every fight.
Yeah, but
most characters still have some tragic thing that happens, and it's that's fine. That's complex storytelling. I get it. But then sometimes you just want to win. She just fucking wins.
Completely destroy the skull heart and then go home. Drink beer and turn into a mech.
She just doesn't give a shit.
Everyone else is dead.
Here he comes,
okay, so
Josh's favorite boy.
Yeah, this is one of the better pictures we have of Grendel, by the way, with his arm and everything, but this is a really nice picture of Grendel. The Beowulf's good too, but this is a really good picture of Grendel is all. We got the poster, we got that. Here he is with his chair in his finalized version, and just the setup for that, how the wolf head works and how the chair works. Here's some expressions. I like that it shows where his hairline is.
Yeah, because he looks like he's balding a little.
Yeah, but it's not that. He's just got kind of a high hairline. He just
parts it weird.
Yeah. His chin kind of juts out a lot. He's got a very angular face, and then there's some stuff where they really push the eyes, the nose, and his mouth for this, because it's face and head stuff. They go incredibly detailed on how to make his legs work, with the knee pad stuff going on, and an explanation of they are knee pads. They're not just, fluff. And then an explanation of how to make use them to your advantage to fuck up perspective and foreshortening and make it work better.
That works.
They can help with perspiration. Perspective. Yeah, thank you. And it's just everything about his legs are super duper interesting.
Gotta give his fursuit some
concept
diagrams.
about how the fucking head works in the fursuit.
And it's a fursuit.
It's just, it flips up and he's a wolf. That's basically it in its entirety.
He's a furry.
It's literally just referred to as his mantle as well, because it's literally just the top of him. Mm-hmm. It's nothing else. It's just literally a mantle with a
also
head
that
on it.
the Grendel arm's given a lot of reason for him to have it, but they never explain why he has a wolf fursuit.
It's because that's his theme as a wrestler.
But why is that his theme?
It's really kind of I don't know. It's a weird theme for a wrestler.
Yeah, he's just my wrestling gimmick is that I'm gonna come into the ring with my fursuit on. Is that okay, guys? And they're like, we don't know what that means. Go ahead.
The head kind of doesn't work either. When you actually look at it, it gains mass as it flips up, but in the actual animation, you never quite notice that.
Does he ever put it on?
It's weird. Though? Yeah, he does for some of his attacks and for some of his ending animations and stuff like that. His intro, I think he does it. Here's him just hulking out.
Some equal opportunity objectification.
No, this is just concept for punching.
This
and
is
stuff.
just
I like this one
musculature.
because that's clearly where his neck is, that little circle, but it kind of makes you think it's his head, so he just looks like he's got a tiny head. A lot of this is fluid, though, and it works. Here's literally just this is how the herding works. And yes, that is the name of the chair. It's got a magnet bar on it.
So that's how it hooks up to his belt.
Yeah, that's how he doesn't have to hold it at all times. It's just hooked to the belt. And then it looks like the most uncomfortable chair to sit in I've ever seen.
It doesn't have enough space for your butt.
It doesn't. Like, the back is at such a weird angle, and it's like, I don't know if that's how... I don't think that's how folding chairs usually work.
Not usually.
Like, I don't know why it's designed to look like that, because it doesn't look like a good folding chair. It looks
Maybe
kinda
they
like a
thought
crap
you
one.
wouldn't need the whole seat because you'd only be using the edge.
You know what? In that chair you would be. That might be the joke.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Also, it's a hitting chair, not a sitting chair.
Yeah, well. There's his belt with the magnet on it. That's how it hooks onto his pants and everything like that. It's a lot of thought put into this, and it's really nice. So this is his pinup.
This is Thin Legs Beowulf.
It is Thin Legs Beowulf, which means it's a slightly thinner Beowulf.
It's probably just older art.
And there is a lot of gore on that arm.
They could have gone more detailed. We know that they do more detailed gore, so that's not so bad.
So this is the first shot from his story mode, and this is also a pretty good picture of Grendel. We don't see very much good Grendel, so it is actually nice when you can see kind of a lot of him. And that's Grendel's mom, who is from the Epic of Beowulf. Like, for those of you who didn't realize, that's a story.
Yeah, I haven't read it.
I'm sure that there's nobody out there who hasn't, like, at least heard of this. I had to read it for middle school.
Yeah, I've never read it.
Through the whole thing, but the Epic of Beowulf is like a Scandinavian story about a king who's really good at killing monsters. And Grendel's the first one in the book that he goes through, and then Grendel's mom is shortly after that. Because she's like the origin of all monsters, and he just goes down and he beats the shit out of her. And then he turns into a bear.
And Annie's feet are having a hard time.
Yeah, Annie's feet are literally cut off. Because that's not where the screen ends, like, here in the original version.
Yeah.
So they didn't feel the need to draw her feet. And it's kind of like, I don't know. I accept it. I know that happens sometimes.
It's silly that they bothered extending the canvas that far at all.
A little bit. But yeah, no, and then we get like some of the really nice stuff going on, and that's just everything. So out of the Beowulf has also got a long storyline, so he needs 2. Actually, his isn't that long. I think he just has more art than a lot of other people.
It's weird. Like, someone just really, really liked his face, I think.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of really good face shots in here for Beowulf as well, and then there's some of the Grendel stuff, and it's just literally like him suplexing an arm. Some really good stuff going on.
Yeah, he's clearly the favorite for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. And then I really like this shot of the inside of the Avian Labs because, hey, Big Band's actually in here. And you almost never have him in a lot of these shots of, like, all of these guys together. So it's really nice that he actually shows up in some of this, along with Andy and Timmy and everybody else. All of these other experiments in here.
And then the face that Peacock is making is pretty good.
Yeah, the face is super good because she's like,
doing
what the
the thing
fuck
with
is
her
this
hands.
garbage? Also, Stanley's in the background there because Stanley is also a part of the Avian Lab. He's in their environment, like their stage. He shows up in the background sometimes too. That's just where he is.
Right.
And
Who's left?
I think I had mentioned this, but there's one other picture I wanted to go into in here. It's when when Double kind of eats him, like goes from Zane into
a crocodile,
into like a horrible crocodile, yeah, and then eats him.
Also, she was wearing sunglasses inside the face that has sunglasses.
yeah.
I like that
she
she's
just
got
had
a
the
sense
double
of humor.
sunglasses going on for that, yeah. It's totally just a sense of humor thing for some strange reason. But then we get a bunch of the DLC characters. That's what I wanted to point out. So Fang, who is an acrobat and also a contortionist, is in there and is being contortionist. That's the elf dude and his
okay, so
his
it is
instrument.
a dude.
So it is actually a dude, yeah. There's the guy on the other side who's heart-themed. There's the demon, and I think I pointed her out at the time. That's Scythona's foot.
Okay.
And then you've got Roxy, you've got What's-Her-Face in the phone mech, and you've got Adam, who's the most boring man alive. Stanley, shonen protagonist, B-Girl.
And she's got real hands now. She looks better.
I like this picture of Stanley, though. He's so panicked.
Yeah.
Look at this shark, man.
Yeah.
And then you've got the actual characters who actually made it into the game, like Painwheel and Big Band and Cerebella. And then Annie comes in, and Annie was a failed DLC character and saves everybody.
Yeah, really. I mean, even in his storyline, Beowulf's kind of a
he takes backseat to Annie over, like, himself. Yeah, so then we go into Robo Fortune.
Who is a meme character 100%.
Oh, yeah, no, she's literally just the joke character.
They couldn't just animate just ms.fortune again. Yeah, she's not a recolor.
And
not completely.
Her concept art is, you will notice, almost identical to ms.fortune.
But with way more shit going on. No.
With this is almost identical. Like, they've even taken the format and placed it in the right place for it to be ms.fortune. Some of these are the exact same picture.
Yeah, no. But then there's a whole bunch of shit that's just... Like, it's a robot, so you gotta be detailed with how the pieces fit.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff going on there. Like, this is literally this is how her head works in its entirety, because there's a lot of stuff. Like, the head, when it starts to pop open, and when it's, like, actually walking around and stuff, you kind of have to go in and explain how some parts of the body function. And then we got that again, and then we've got this thing where Valentine apparently sends messages in syringes.
Oh, it's kind of just her style.
Yeah. I like the coat they give to Brain Drain, because it makes him look like a motherfucking, like, just great man. Look at him. And then these notes are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, Valentine's beautiful soul.
Blood? So dark and hardcore.
I like to think that under her sexy nurse, grim, dark, revenge, darkness lady thing, like, she just does that.
Yeah.
Like, I know the whole storyline was jokey, but...
Yeah, no, it was intentionally just a joke. And we don't actually get to see this art very much, which is, like, kind of a shame, because some of this is really good. Like, it's very... I don't know.
Yeah, you
get
to see some robo innards.
Like, yeah, it's super detailed, and it's barely there. And then we get, like rolled up sleeves and glasses Brain Drain.
Yeah, it's like sexy daddy Brain Drain or something.
A little bit. And then we got the gong.
There she is.
And then immediately go into the end of her story, because she has, like, no art in her
Yeah, there's, like, a cutscene of her and regular Fortune just kind of dotting at each other.
There's What's-His-Face.
And there's Umbrella.
Yeah, with Umbrella.
She's never happy when everyone else gets
there's Stanley as well, and there's Adam. That's clearly just supposed to be Adam, even though he looks like fucking Snake at this point. And then,
this was the attempt to make him look more votable so that people would want him in the game.
Annie powers up, and then you got just everybody. All of the DLC characters all at once. All of the ones that didn't make it. Just going in to fight. Just gotta beat the crap out of fucking Robo Fortune, I guess. For God only knows what reason.
And it won't work.
No, it never did. And then that's the shot from the poster. And then this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Fuku, I think, is the last one.
Fuku doesn't get much.
She gets almost nothing at all. She's got her picture, which I think is it's a recolor. Color of the Philia one. Her poster, which is a recolor of the Philia one. This, which is a recolor of the Philia one. This is unique.
It's supposed to be in the same pose.
Yeah, it's almost the exact same pose.
Intended to just be a callback still.
This, which is from the poster. This, which is kind of unique. I don't think that this actually shows up anywhere else.
The colors they're using could be regular Philia just as much, though.
That is actually one of Fukua's alternative color schemes. I remember because we when we were doing her, I think I was the one who chose that color scheme.
Okay.
When we were going through the whole roster of characters and everything.
All right.
And then this, which is the Mario 2 art.
Did they have to give her a breathing animation? Really?
Oh no, I did that. That was me.
That's still they just bothered putting those in.
Clicking forward, clicking back.
Like the fact that they had 3 frames.
Yeah, no, you can just make her sit here and breathe all day.
Yeah, like, it's, considering how little she had for story, that was weird that they put that much.
Yeah, I think I also pointed out in Fuku's thing, but her parasite is named Shimon. Mm-hmm. It's different from Samson, but Samson, when she takes Philia's face, is still clearly alive and is crying.
Aww.
He's so sad, and he's still crying. I guess hers is just underneath there.
Yeah.
And then
just sort of poking up against the backside of Samson.
Yeah.
It's really uncomfortable.
And we get this really good shot of
Angry Umbrella.
I think I called it Where's I think I called it Where's Annie in the original version of this, but that's like a Twin Peaks thing. But yeah, no, Angry Umbrella in everything forever. Like we'll never not have.
She
an
just
Angry
really
Umbrella
wanted to get
here.
voted in, and no one wanted her.
Yeah.
She should just take some cues from Minette. She seems to have been as fair sport about it when she didn't get in.
Marie's art is really good, but there's not a lot of it. And a lot of it is just get ready to see that shot an awful lot because it just keeps showing up. And then immediately goes into her storyline.
Which isn't really, she doesn't really get
it's not her own unique storyline. It's literally just
a lot of stuff
everybody
that shows
gets
everyone.
this over and over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even really give her concept art.
We got guest art. There was actually one other thing that I wanted to find in. Shoot, let's find it. I gotta get into the characters again. Give me a second. It's not liking how fast I'm flicking through that. I kind of wanted to point out that when you actually get into Cerebella's story, one of the first characters you see who isn't Cerebella is Fang. And then we get this shot of the circus, which kind of goes by because it pans really quickly, and it includes Fang like literally just being held by Cerebella. But then we get all of these characters over here, and this is where we kind of pointed out that you've got the guy who's clearly like spades, there's the knife girl who's clubs, that guy who's hearts, and then Cerebella who's diamonds. And then outside of that, you've got a bunch of other weird circus people in here.
Yeah.
Including this clown and the bard, and then Medici's, it's Lorenzo's son, I can't remember his name. But yeah, the acting head of the Medicis or whatever. Just all of these characters are really interesting, and most of them were like DLC characters who didn't make it in.
Yeah. Well, I wish that they would just make a second SkullGirls, but I think that's just not on the table.
Well, I don't know if it is. It might be. Maybe someday. I think I kind of said it, and it didn't find its way into the last Tournament Snark that we did, but there is Indivisible, which is a game that they are making. It's a Lab Zero game. And that should come out eventually, and it kind of has an art style that feels a lot like SkullGirls, but in the last few iterations, it's kind of moved a little bit away from that.
Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of character concepts that they didn't get to use. It's not about the art style, or about the creators even, really.
Honestly, some of the characters from SkullGirls, some of the characters from SkullGirls have already been confirmed as cameos for showing up in.
Yeah, but it's not quite the same.
I think Umbrella was one of the first ones, and
that's
Annie
funny.
Definitely. Annie is in it.
That Umbrella gets to be in a game that isn't the right game.
I'm not 100% sure about that. Don't quote me.
It's like that one Disgaea character who keeps showing up in things.
So yeah, then we go into the guest art. We don't want to spend too long in here because Megan's going to have a lot of gripes, and there is a lot of stuff.
It's not gripes. I'm making fun of them. I'm not mad.
You shouldn't make fun of other artists.
Look, I'm just saying that a lot of them do that thing where they don't pay attention to the anatomy going on under the boobs.
Is there anything you want me to show in particular?
Yes, but you'd say I was being too mean to them.
There are some that we could show that are really nice. Like, this one's pretty good.
Yeah. It's stylized heavily.
There's I think only one piece of Minette art. And
real
it's this.
close up.
Yeah.
You wake up and that's what's there.
This is really good for graphic design style stuff.
Cute.
It's really just simplistic versions of the characters, and it's
I
really
like
nice.
Philia's hat. You don't always see that in things.
Yeah, artistic deconstruction is really good, and I feel like it's something that should happen more often for graphic design. But a lot of people tend to kind of do it a little sloppy and tend to do it over the top, and I don't. It gets kind of weird.
But this one's nice.
Yeah, this one's very nice. And yes, you don't really see Philia's hat very often because it's usually eaten by Samson at the beginning of the match.
Yeah. But it's just nice to have it included in her motifs.
Yeah, because it should be a part that people remember of that character, but let's see. This is pretty nice. Let's see. There's some more squiggly in here.
This weird color scheme squiggly.
This is pretty good. This has got a lot of the Avian Lab.
It's
the
not
lab,
quite how Big Band's legs work.
The Lab 8
That's
stuff.
a fair artistic license to take.
Yeah, well, one of them is totally spot on exactly how his leg works, and the other one is more...
Yeah, it's just kind of worked
It's
out.
an artistic license, and I think it's fine to take that. I think it still looks really good.
The guts lady's going nuts over there.
Oh yeah, no, she's just all over the goddamn place.
Yeah.
Look at her, made of guts. Stanley's being a shark here. And then just Dr. Avian here in the background.
Yeah, this one's pretty good overall.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'm trying to remember some of the other art without clicking on it, because we don't want to be here all day and like click on it and then skim
Pretty much
through
all the
art,
double
but-
stuff looks cool.
Yeah, a lot of the double stuff is pretty cool. People take a lot of, not even license, a lot of people literally just have fun with it
It's
and
like,
go as fluid
let's
as
just
they
draw
can with
some weird
Tubble.
guts. It's gonna be fun.
This one's a little bit weird because it looks
Little
like she's like,
a little too much.
looks like she's beating herself up.
Yeah, a little too much.
Because she's the same person
still, like,
there.
The detail is admirable.
I don't know. Let's see. There's Josh L., which I think we had an entire thing where we were talking about it.
It was
but-
just some internet guy.
Yeah, I think we're just not going to touch it this time. I just, first of all, that's Beowulf, and it looks like thin Beowulf.
Yeah, it's a
But
really thin Beowulf.
I personally don't really like his color choices all the time, because he used to do a lot of art that kind of used that sort of color dynamic, and it's just like, I kind of don't see colors right to begin with, and it just bothers the hell out of me.
I just think his line work is sloppy.
This is pretty good.
You're avoiding the ones that you know that I'll make the most
All right,
fun
fine. We'll just start at the top, and I'll skim through real quick. So
This one's, I mean, about
Really nice
as
Valentine.
it's about as tittyful as regular Valentine.
we already talked about that one. This is a pretty good Marie. There's
Kinda
some
tall,
actually
but yeah.
okay Maries in here, but most of them wind up being too tall, or they kind of miss the point of what Marie is. Like this one's kind of like, hey, let's make a Moe waifu out of the maid, and it's like, well, okay,
Well,
I
I
guess,
think a
but
part of
she's
her-
usually murdering people.
Yeah, a big part of her personal themes is victimhood, so I feel
Yeah.
like trying to make her look like coy and stuff is not really a good idea.
It's fine though. As far as art goes, it doesn't look that bad. That's
I mean,
pretty
her
good. The skulls
petticoats are
like,
just a
straight
literal
on
pillow,
top.
but
like the skulls are right on model.
Yeah,
That's exactly
yeah,
what they
that's
should
fine.
look like. I said on top, and I don't know why.
yeah. That's fine, it's a chibi.
Yeah, it's cute. She eating a lot. I think that it's not really pointed out very often, but she is supposed to look like a Japanese yokai, and it's specifically one that eats the shit out of everything.
Yeah, it's just a
That's-
lady
that's
with a
the
mouth in
joke.
the back of the head. It's a thing.
Yeah, she should basically just never stop eating is the way that works.
Yeah, so the mouth is constantly taking.
Yeah. Well, it's I think the actual myth ends with because it's a guy marries a woman who's from an unknown family or something, and then he wakes up in the middle of the night and finds out that she's eating all of the food in his house with a mouth in the back of her head, and then he literally gets eaten out of house and home because of it. Sometimes he gets eaten, but not often.
Often it's something that develops as a result of like not giving your wife enough to eat.
This happens as well.
If you're like in an old-timey Japan, maybe you have to ration your food out and you just don't give your wife enough because you're thinking, oh well, she's less important. It's like nope, now she's a ghost.
So nice squiggly art in front of the moon, I guess. More of this, which is kind of like, yeah, whatever.
A little overwrought.
I
this
like
line work is a little.
whoever did this. I'm fine with their line work. I think that it looks really nice. The pose is a strange one, but
Yeah.
outside of that, I think it's fine.
There's
I
a
don't
little
see
bit of
any
melt
problem with it.
face going on.
No, I kind of like that face, to be honest. I don't know. We have very differing opinions of art
Yeah,
sometimes, but like I feel like
it's
the
just-
face on that looks really nice actually, and the colors are really good.
The line work isn't tight and it just bugs me. Her neck's weird too.
There's Faust.
One of Valentine's boobs is bigger than the other.
A little bit. Faust is a doctor character. I use doctor like very loosely, and I'm throwing up big air quotes. From Guilty Gear, and he's kind of very jokey. I'm not going to call him a joke character though, but he as a doctor, should totally be alongside Valentine all the goddamn time in fighting games like this.
Okay.
Parasol.
Choice of outfits. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is fine.
This is okay. This is really nice.
Kind of a long neck.
You can kind of
but
see her bones, but like some of these bones don't really make sense. But that's fine. I don't actually care.
Like it's supposed to just sort of. It's not like a literal interpretation of.
Looks super nice. I don't. Turning the head that far is kind of a weird set for this.
Yeah, but Eliza could probably do that.
You know what? You're totally right. More Eliza art.
This is about right. Hey.
This.
Fishman.
Yeah. These two, which seem to just show up an awful lot together in art because they're part of the egrets. And
they're part of the people who didn't get in.
They're the ones who aren't Adam out of the egrets who didn't get in, and nobody really cares about Adam.
Yeah, like, genuinely, 100%.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know of anybody who does. Annie, okay.
Okay.
Sarabella art, which is kind of like, welcome to Center Ring, our main attraction.
The composition of the piece is nice. It's just, I know that it was an excuse to draw our butt. It's like, we're not fooled. This is good.
Yeah, this is a really nice one. I really do like this.
What's up with Painwheel and Parasol over there?
Where?
Yeah, they're just freaking out at each other.
Oh, I don't know. Just came face to face with horrific.
And Robo Fortune is antagonizing regular Fortune.
Yeah. Well, Eliza's totally looking at
Look at the fucking Beowulf.
Yeah, no,
nice.
He's great. He's amazing. That's on model. Beowulf would do that.
Yeah.
We already saw that one. The egrets at the beach.
Fine.
It's the beach episode. Everybody?
Not quite everyone.
It's a lot of people.
Is Painwheel here? I don't see Painwheel.
No, actually, I don't see her either.
Everyone.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here, but not Painwheel. Squiggly in her coffin.
Hey, there's Robo Fortune.
Yeah, has a boombox.
Yeah.
What is her disc here? I want to see it. It's
that
the picture of Marie playing the piano. Yeah.
There is no picture of Marie playing the piano.
It's a picture of Marie playing.
Yeah, you said like the, and it's like
sorry,
we didn't see it.
A picture. It's really nice, actually, though.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Is this everybody who didn't get into the game?
This is everybody who did and everybody who didn't. So down at the bottom you got Minette and Umbrella. And then coming up it's like Annie and Brain Drain and Black Dahlia and Fang and the Bee Girl and just literally everybody is here. There's Scythana with some of the other characters to get a feel for how tall she actually is.
She is pretty big.
Yeah, she's huge. Gigantic Samson right here in the center.
Oh god, that's what that is.
Did you not even notice what that was, did you?
Yeah.
And Philia's sitting on top of him there too. It's the stuck version of Philia. And what's his face is trying to cut her out, I guess. That guy with his like waifu, Stanley being accosted by a musician. Other things going on here. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, I commend whoever did this. This is a
lot
really
of nice one. It's Emlyn, apparently. It's just guest art 2.
Okay.
This one.
Okay. So that rib cage and those boobs don't like that dress.
I loved the coloring on this one. This person has a really nice like understanding of how colors flow, and it's very painterly. I will agree that the anatomy is a little bit off.
Yeah, I mean, if you had chosen a different dress, you might have been able to make that work.
It's a very complex pose, and I commend them for choosing it.
But not actually
the way that the pose has been presented is kind of.
You got to be careful when your character's got huge boobs, because then it kind of looks like their entire front is a dome. If you're doing it wrong with like clothes choices and stuff.
I still think it looks amazing when it comes to colors, though. The colors on this are absolutely beautiful.
It's like this person focused more on colors than on anatomy, and like I get that some people are just better at certain things than others, but if you're doing that, like, I mean, like I've said, if you're going to draw huge titties, pay attention to your rib cages.
Yep. This
person's rib cages look great.
Yep, this looks really nice. I don't know, maybe the hands on the Sarabella hat are a little small, but outside of that,
they're far away.
Honestly, it doesn't really matter. It all looks really good, honestly. Some gashi in here with giant Samson is something that we really only see in the fan art, and then that one picture of him. Like, he does show up in some of her supers. I think he hits this size, but it's not often.
There's an umbrella in there.
Yeah, there's a tiny, scared umbrella over here. She's not attached to him in this central picture, which kind of bugs me, but that's fine outside.
Well, she's not attached to him in any of these.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
I don't know either. Some Minette on top of ms.fortune? Question mark. So that's there. This again, I like the painting. Some of the anatomy is okay, but the pose is a strange choice for this one.
Everything's rendered in a weird texture here.
A little bit.
I'm not a fan of this particular painting
This depiction
style.
of Samson is terrifying, though.
Oh yeah, the Samson mouth looks okay. Everything else looks off. Her legs are different sizes.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, sad pain wheel.
Yeah.
Very sad pain wheel. Real weird depiction of Leviathan, but I can dig it.
I like the Leviathan. I was looking more at the way her dress and her ribcage hate each other.
Yeah, I don't know.
Her shoulders.
So, like, the concept art's obviously not going to be available to the guest art people when they were making the guest art. So I can see interpreting the front of her dress as being a full dress instead of that skull plate as well.
I mean, like,
I know. I'm saying that I feel like that would have fixed it a little bit better if they had known that was the skull plate and not some weird goddamn dress that didn't make any sense the way that it is.
It's just...
I know.
It's
the anatomy is a little weird, too, yeah. Good umbrella.
This looks pretty good.
Really nice colors on this. The painterly style.
Yeah.
Kind of amazing.
And this one's like the texture on everything isn't all super samey and not super mushy.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yep.
This
back
one.
to the Josh L. Really good Roxy. Her pants are so big.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oops, wrong way. Sorry.
This is actually
Valentine.
a pretty good Valentine.
There's some...
Her boobs are doing that thing, but they do that canonically, and the way her hips are twisting looks a little odd, but like her rib cage and everything all look like they should be where
I can't help but notice that Valentine gets a ton of fan art in this.
You wonder why?
No, I'm not saying I wonder why. I'm just saying, like, she does.
Yes, I wonder why people want to draw Valentine.
Giant Leviathan looks pretty good.
This is
beach,
cool.
or not even the beach. It's at the pool. Yeah. So Adam, who is incredibly boring, is here. There's the tank guy, by the way. That's what that
Just
pointed
lurking.
arrow in the
even
water
fit?
is. Probably not. In the foreground, we do have Annie with a rabbit and Eliza.
I like how the little
doing
bomb
God
has a
only
lit
knows what.
fuse, but it's
Yeah,
in the water.
It's Umbrella and Parasol, and then Beowulf doing a dive.
Sure.
Because that is what he'd do. And then you've got, like, Squiggly in the corner over here. And then Minette and ms.fortune again hanging out.
Yeah.
And like, Peacock riding an alligator. Her legs should be robots.
Yeah, maybe they didn't realize that.
No, probably not.
Because it's not
Sarabella
super obvious in her,
yeah.
her normal art.
And Stanley's there, too.
Yeah, like Peacock's whole body should be way more fucked up looking than that.
Oh, yeah, no. So,
but it's all covered by the dress.
I think we pointed it out in the concept art, but, like, her legs, she doesn't have legs. Her normal legs aren't there. She's kind of just... She is a head and a torso, and then the arms and legs are robots, and even then, parts of her head are not there either. Parts of her head are robots.
Oh, boy.
Here's the
I
background
accept
characters.
that there's some stylization going on here, but,
I don't know.
Everyone in the
it's
background
fine.
looks okay. Just Valentine got stepped on by something.
It's stylized, I understand.
But everyone else looks fine. That's so weird.
It's characterism, characterization. I don't know.
This one's cute.
It has character. There we go. Yeah, this one's
It's
cute.
a cute pain wheel on the bottom. Yeah, she's just falling over.
Aw, that's kind of adorable. More
This one's
Valentine
fine.
art. Yeah. I think we already saw that one.
Yeah, this one's just unshaded. It's
This one's
fine.
okay.
Big lips look a little weird because you don't see that normally in the SkullGirl stuff, but they're not bad.
Yeah.
It's Parasol.
It's a bunny,
fan
I guess.
servicey, whatever.
Yeah. This one's really good.
Yeah, let's get some zoom on this.
Okay, what are we looking at?
Just in general,
Just in
everything.
general,
Is everyone here? All of the originals.
All of the originals.
Looks like it.
I think so. Yeah. I seen everybody.
I occasionally do stuff in like a stark black and white sort of thing, and it's kind of hard to do. Like, it's harder than you'd expect because you got to be paying a lot of attention to where all of your shadows are.
Yeah.
This is pretty good.
Yeah, this looks really good.
I feel like there's probably some stuff that you could do in terms of composition to have made them all stand out more, but maybe the point wasn't to have them all stand out super boldly.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like
Yeah,
that
like they're just supposed to kind of create a cohesive sort of collage together.
Yeah. Squiggly.
Weird.
Misfortune.
What is this pose even supposed to be?
Falling over, I guess.
She's gonna just fall apart if she's doing that.
Yeah. Philia with a headless body.
Well, the head's right there.
I know. I'm just being a jerk. She's right there. Squiggly with.
Oh man, look at the rendering on that skull.
Yeah,
that looks good.
So rendered.
Yeah, I like that. Look at her hand. Look at her hand.
Which one?
Lovely. Both.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is looking good.
The Annie and the teacher stuff up here with Minette
There's just
here.
DLC characters everywhere.
Yeah, and then like over here, like Beowulf and Umbrella and Eliza.
Sorry, Umbrella, you're still not in the
Sorry,
game.
Umbrella, you still didn't make it.
But yeah, look at the fucking skull and look at it. That's all just really well done.
Yeah, this is super well done, super well rendered.
Just close up. I'll accept the stylization here because none of it looks like it goes too far. It just kind of knows what it wants.
Clearly, this was supposed to look the way that it does.
Yeah, a little bit more male gazy than necessary. That makes the stylization look less good, but like it's still like you can tell what's going on.
Yeah,
you can tell they wanted it that way.
The angling
the
here
pose
is
there
kind
is
of
weird.
interesting. Yeah.
The positioning of her legs is just weird.
Yeah.
And I think Parasol was confused too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see. Yeah,
is
this
that one
one's
of her
really
actual
nice.
moves?
I don't remember.
I don't think she normally does it quite like that.
Oh yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. She has a drill, but
yeah, it's not quite like this. This is like
I think this is the startup, and then it pulls in, and it just starts drilling super hard.
That's cool.
Yeah, it looks really nice actually. Just Philia with everybody who's in it. Yeah. Yep, including I think that's. Oh no, it's just normal Painwheel. I thought it was Painwheel without her mask.
No, that's the mask.
Yep, some really good Peacock in there. Very stylized versions of these characters.
Yeah, sure.
This is the one you hate the most out of this.
Well, I guess you could say that, or you could say it's my favorite.
You're always so rough on this.
Look at it. Her arms don't even reach down to her thigh highs.
I don't know.
Just look at that.
It's clearly that the artist had a style that they wanted to adhere to because this is just the way that they draw.
Yeah, but you can like okay, so what you would do is take either your pencil or your tablet stylus and just kind of mark out to yourself how long your arm is and then move it down to see if it reaches down far enough to be a real arm.
I don't know.
This one's arms are correct.
This is actually, okay, this is designed to look like it's from a different fighting game.
Okay.
So I want to say, and I could be super wrong. In fact, I probably am. But I think the game that it's emulating is Melty Blood.
I don't know what that is.
It's a very anime fighter that uses...
Is that a character from it?
Yes, it is. That uses pixel art. So you can tell if... I can't zoom in far enough, but there are pixels here.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of like character art in the background for the start of a match.
Not sure what her tie is doing in that underboob shot.
Oh, I don't know.
But,
It's stuck somewhere.
It's weird, but
yeah.
sure.
And then you
this
get that.
Nice.
And this one's really good.
This
and
one's
this one's
painterly.
We've seen this one as well, and then that's the end. That's all of it.
I know you didn't originally intend to do all of them because you were scared I'd be mean.
Well, also, I feel like this has been running forever.
It has. It has.
So that's something else that I've kind of been worried about is how long this has gone. I think that's it, though. I think we're done.
I think so.
Yeah, we got nothing else. Are there any other storyline moments you want to check out? Or?
I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything either.
So if you viewer want to see all those pictures, there's probably up on a wiki or something. I don't know.
There is a SkullGirls wiki, and I think if you go onto it, the full gallery is there. If you want to see full HD versions.
Yeah. Sorry to anyone who I said your anatomy was weird.
Yeah, I should probably point out that the guest art too. I think in order to get in there, you had to contribute to the Kickstarter over a certain amount.
Like I thank you for paying to get your art in the game.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. Some of you guys just need to look at skeletons more often. That's all. Mostly.
I like looking at skeletons all the time.
Yeah, I know. Skeletons are great to look at.
Anyway, any other final thoughts? This will probably be the last SkullGirls video we do for a very long time.
Yeah. Do you think that we'll just play it occasionally for fun off screen?
Off screen, maybe, but on screen,
probably not.
We probably won't be doing it unless we run out of character Snark again, which it seems very unlikely considering we've got two other games we're working through.
And then there's other things in the back burner. Yeah. We'll be fine.
Okay. Final thoughts though? Anything?
No, that's it. Also, if you're bad at anatomy, don't fret and don't feel discouraged. Just get better.
Yep.
Practice.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a wonderful time.